Day number 2 is upon us here, and we are excited to be underway with the Department of Air Force Gaming League Summer Playoffs for 2025. It's been an exciting weekend, but now we close it out with a few more finalists. My name is Overton, with me is Bearlight. We are happy to be here to be your casters. Once again, shout out to the USAA for sponsoring this event. Bearlight, how you doing?
Oh man, it's awesome. Day one, Marvel Rivals was an excellent way to start off the weekend. We saw Jeff Only representing JBSA Lackland, and they took the bracket by storm, showcasing some of the best players in Marvel Rivals, not just within the Department of Defense, but pretty much everywhere. And today we've got some great things on the docket. Obviously, Street Fighter 6 coming up on the horizon, so we're excited for an incredible closeout here in the Summer League.
Yeah, going from a 6-man team to a 1-man showdown, and that's the way it's going to go. Here with Street Fighter 6, we had an awesome bracket run so far, and we got some awesome prizes to go ahead and toss your way just as well, or at least to the competitors. For the prizing itself, we are going to see a singular win for first place, and you gain a $125 AFG gift card, which is dope, by the way. Solo to the player that wins it here today. Second place earns a $75 gift card, and then third and fourth and fifth through 8th, 50 and 25 respectively.
I love it. If you made the playoffs, listen, you get some love, and of course, you're looking to upgrade that from the $75 to the $125 here today between these two competitors. So you've already locked in the $75, feels good, but of course, you want to go for that ultimate prize at the end of the day, and not only that, but showcase that you are the best at Street Fighter 6 within the Air Force Gaming League. So this is certainly an opportunity for these players to show up and prove what they're all about.
That's the best part about it. So you gotta know that we gotta give love to all the players that did make it through the playoffs and into the playoffs. Of course, maybe not exactly in that order because they went through an entire grueling season as well. So these are your top players. There was Semi-Auto Magic as well as Milagri, Busty Justy, Indy Bindi, and then of course Zoda and Professor PhD. Of course, today on the docket, we are going to see Zoda and Indy Bindi playing against each other in the grand finals. But the third place matchup, the one that earned that $50 between both third and fourth, are going to be Semi-Auto Magic as well as Professor PhD.
Yeah, and that was a 3-0 there. Semi-Auto Magic, not only one of my favorite names here in Street Fighter 6 for the Summer League, but of course, closing out in dominant fashion there with the 3-0. So that's certainly something good. Not to mention they took a game off of Zoda here as well, Orbital. It's definitely notable, not only in that third place matchup, saying, hey, they were a force to be reckoned with in their own regards to get to that third spot. But it also shows that our number one seed in Zoda not inevitably going to be as dominant. Obviously showing a little bit of weakness there with the one loss. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, I want to point out Indy Bendy is kind of cooking here. The 3-2 to kick it off. We were unsure where they would be, but they got all the momentum rolling in with that 3-0 over Professor.
And that's the scary thing as well. Number 6 seeds in there gonna be rocking out, which means that it's a day of potential upsets. So far, we've had the Marvel Rivals side. It's been 1 versus 6 seed. Today, it's gonna be 1st versus 6 seed. And, it's always a day of magic can happen. So far, though, yesterday, the magic didn't really hit as much as we would have liked. Well, maybe in one way or another. However, on the docket, let's go ahead and take a look at both these players. We got Zoda and Indy Bindi. Both of these players already locking in, coming in from the Street Fighter 4 era of gaming in there. They both listed that FG as their favorite title, but on the day today, they are going to be playing, I believe, a little bit of an interesting matchup. Indy Bindi really, really liking that Aki, and then Zoda, of all things, a Zangief main.
Yeah. And of course, the number one seed means it's very scary. It's not usually seen at the top level of Street Fighter, but they've reached that rank with Zangief, but not only that, but they've also been able to, obviously, tear through the bracket in addition to that. So coming from, of course, Tinker Air Force Base represented in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So that's incredibly awesome. We'll get things going now. Indy, of course, from Glendale, Arizona, and the Luke Air Force Base. But that Aki going up against the Zangief certainly plays well. I'd like to see a little bit of zoning. It's all going to be about how Aki can zone here, how Indy can zone and keep Zangief at bay.
Yep, and we're into this BO7, by the way. It was BO5s across the entirety of the bracket, but it's gonna be a twist and a half. Diving on in already, the Aki having a little bit of fun in there, but Indy Bindi ready to throw down. Getting some early starts here on Zangief. Zoda trying to find a corner of their own, though, and Zangief's got the absolute bluster. Ew, pile driver, the head cracker, the spine cracker, whatever you want to call it. Zoda throwing down.
Yeah, you saw all that damage go, but you're never panicking as Zangief, man. You see the 1-2 and the knockout early, so That's how you see the #1 come back in this one. You can kind of hit little marks here and there all day long if you're Aki, but you got to look out for the massive damage you get from the Zinky.
It's a little bit terrifying to think about as well for Indy. You know that the Aki is such a combo-heavy character, but it's so light it feels, and especially against a Zangief, you know every blow feels like it's just destructive, so you have to play smart. But right now, you are getting corner blocked in more ways than one. Very nice counter hit, creating a little bit of space for yourself, but that stance is not really in your favor. Oh no, exhausted out, which is a problem.
Yeah, the burnout is certainly going to lead to the knockout. That was pretty easy there for Zoda as they take the first set. And obviously the first one you saw Aki looking pretty strong, but after that it was a quick run there from Zoda.
And the fact that they're ready to throw down yet again. I mean, I love this. You gotta be inside the USC ring. You gotta be inside that ringside action. But no stage swap is always a very interesting to me. Maybe you want to create a little bit more space. But, of course, they say the ring is the best place to start. Indy getting a great combination off, though. Carrying to the sky and now following through, painting this green. Zoda not happy, but now a counterattack.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the pulse shade and chaser afterwards was great. The drive rush is going to be handled there with a couple blocks there too. So Zoda's certainly been wary of that fact too. The pulse to try to get them in, and it does. So great methodical move there from Indy to finally get some life.
I mean, that's what we were talking about, right? This is a combo-heavy character. Aki is always a combo-heavy character, and you know there's going to be even more to play with. We'll start things off. Zoda making sure to slowly try and build up their own, but can't go to the sky. Instead of boot to the face, very nice punish counter, making sure that Indy doesn't get that free fire start. But again, answered in the sky. First time is on you, second time is on me.
Yeah, and you have to be wary because, of course, part of your zoning, if your Indy is trying to go through the air, but you have to be wary of that level 1 that you can bring out at any time for Zoda, but you're not going to be able to do that when you're just absolutely being wrecked here as Indy Benny's got you trapped in the corner.
Right now, you got a level 3 ready to go if you so wish, but you don't really need it because Zoda is completely locked out. 1-1 so far, right into game number 3.
Yeah. Quick work, and of course the distance has been working. It's a 7-foot matchup versus a 5'8", so of course that reaches everything. So you have to try to keep them at bay, and Indy's been doing a great job so far, but Zoda was able to kind of break through that, and you see that punch after punch land too. But a great job to counter this off with a quick drive parry there, but it's going to be combated, of course, if you get close. The throws are inevitable.
I love the fact that Zoda is trying to play into the corner as much as possible. 1-2 though coming out. Indy Bindi really making sure it's a 1-4 combo actually. That's 4 times almost in a row, and now brings a drive as you're completely concussed, exhausted, burnt out, and almost annihilated. Let's see if anybody can finish this one off. Great juggle here inside of the corner. Zoda gonna have to try and get back up. Has a little bit of the meter themselves, but nice. The twist and toss so clean. Yes. Finish it off 2 times in a row. Indy Bindi bends their way to a round 1 victory.
That's what you needed right there, is you had to continue that same trend because one pile driver would have changed the difference, and of course it's difficult to get out of the situation. Credit Indy for getting in quickly and now starting this next one off without anything, so really not opening the doors at all, because if you do, you see the damage just absolutely melted off of Indy, so great job to finish off that last one.
That was a treat and a half, and Indy Bindi is really getting in the mix here. Level 2 at least, and it's clean as a whistle. Make it happen. Zoda, of course, not going down just yet, but that's 100 still on Indy Bindi. You got full charge ready to go. Crash Arts available if you can get it, but Zoda not given the chance. It's a perfect KO for Indy Bindi to move up 2-1.
I like that, and it was actually the level 3 that got them in, and of course that's why you saw all that damage landed. But at the same time, you know, it not only got you in, but I like that usage because you already got the first round, and so you kick into it with a head of damage there and really get things going into the combo. Didn't allow Zangief to get going at all, so Zoda has to respond here at this point in time. They took that first set, but it has not been going the same for them since then.
I mean, this is what we're thinking of. And honestly, after yesterday, watching Jeff Only make it such an amazing run, undefeated throughout their side as the #1 seed coming into Street Fighter, we were a little bit hesitant, you know. Zoda obviously played very, very well on their own. You said they stumbled again in that semifinals, but they're still the first seed moving in, and we know how damaging a Zangief can be. But Aki, always the combo heavy master, being able to play across from corner to corner has been so clean so far. And Indy Bindi dropped the first game, said no worries, we still got more to play. This is why a BO7 is so much fun.
Yeah, exactly. And even when Zangief has been able to get in, when Zoda's been able to get in, it's been like quick, jabs to restart that combo. Or we've even seen the drive impact really come back at you pretty quickly. You've got a couple of options with Aki. So that being said, Indy's been really strong as far as their zoning game, which we said off the bat. I mean, that was my key to success. You had to be able to turn the tides when Zangief came out striking, and they've gotten hold of them a couple times early, but since then, it's been a masterful job to be able to keep them at bay, keep that distance that you want, which is about mid-range, so that way you can land a couple of the ins that you see from, Aki as well. So everything's been going right for Indy over the last couple of times, and as this number 6 seed, it feels good to take a couple of sets off of Zoda here in this best of 7.
Yeah, I would absolutely hope so. Like, this has been solid work all the way through, and it's just been, I mean, I want to see even more here. And we are, this is a Sage swap that I was wondering. So Zoda actually lost on game 3 loss, and now you're saying, okay, let's go to a little bit of a different field now. A little bit longer range, you have a little bit more space to play with, and starting things off strong. Zoda really trying to push forward.
Exactly. Every step forward is definitely a benefit here for Zoda, so that is understood by Aki. That's why you see the switch up and now trying to get them into the corner, and that's going to happen pretty quickly, especially when you have the chaser and the special to get you in pretty quickly. You see the turn, though, and the dive is going to be read well by Indy as well as they look to drive impact, drive dash right back into it with a couple of low kicks and try to swing them as well with the top side. But Zangief giving it back here to Zoda, but will they be able to get some traction? It's not looking like it. Indy should be able to finish this one off as well with a couple of juggles. Not quite done, but they do finish the job.
I mean, that's clean. Indy, what is going on? Indy has gotten that surge in this playoffs bracket. I mean, that is so clean, Zoda. Obviously, I would have loved to see these two play in the regular season. I mean, I'm just so surprised that we're seeing overwhelming strength. Indy starting to read Zoda like a book and a half, and that's going to be a breakout, though. Zoda is going to try and bring the pain. Level 1 to get out of the corner and to stop any further combo.
Just one turn of the tides is all you need as Zangief to really start to get things cooking, especially if you know that. Finally, a lariat out. I haven't seen that very frequently. They also have a double lariat as well if they can bring out 2. Even a level 1 there, I'd like to see that. You have great air defense on these, so you have to be able to use those when you see them come at you.
You can almost see Indy recognizing that, hey, this might not be perfect, so I need to find a little bit more space, trying to use a little bit of that range, a little bit of that poison on the ground. Another slash in the air, though. You bait out the aerial jump, and no chance whatsoever. Indy making sure to finish it off.
That should be 3. Yeah, that should finish it for sure, and does. So, man, Indy is making a statement here and should be able to march this up to match point as well. So 3-1 as Zoda left scratching their head after taking the first set for sure. And you can't switch off it, though. It's tough, right? Because Zangief does not play well into Aki. Not to mention it's not really necessarily the best, but they will go right back into it with the Zangief. Want to try to continue this in and see if they can find some traction.
I mean, it's all you got. At the end of the day, it really is the last moment. You have no more matches to lose. Zoda needs to start winning hard, but you can't even get across the space. Look at that. You are so far away. Zoda trying to get within range, trying to get a combo of their own, but Indy throws out the strays and now going straight for the throat. What a boost.
Organ spraying to get them in the door, and then after that, it was a 1-2 low-up combination. And they need to be able to continue this, too. Try the drive rush, but the kicks keeping them at a distance, but really plays in the favor of Indy. But there you've got the drive rush a couple of times to land a couple of right-handers there.
I mean, Zoda has to go for the 50-50s, but the 50-50s are just not in your favor. The jump's not going to work, as Indy basically strays their way out. The chip damage is too real, and Indy is on round tournament point, whatever you want to call it.
Championship point, and here it is, and a pile driver is the right move here to try to drive back in and get a little bit of a head start. It's been Indy that's gotten those, but of course the combos have been deadly. We're already seeing a couple of those. You got to throw as well in addition to this one, the drive impact to try to get them in the door, and now all of a sudden you blink and we're back even.
Level 3 is ready to go. Indy could close it out in stylish fashion. What a great catch on the aerial yet again. Zoda, you're an open book, and your last chapter is about to be stylized. Low and high meet, but the range advantage from Indy is so good. 60 seconds to work with. Indy taking no chances, setting up the poison. Stab to the center. Where do you hit? What a challenge. Zoda goes for it and hits the level 3. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though.
I don't know. Plus, you got the poison that you were dealing with, but I think it's over and nullified. You
Oh.
did it. Whoa, that was huge to keep Zoda in this one, Orbital. Goodness.
It was good, but that's only to get you matching. It's only to get you matching right now. Full charge, no meters, no nothing. Zoda is out of gas and needs to make do with Simplified, and Indibindi's just taking their time.
Yeah, exactly. They have their drive just come right back up. They're going to use a lot of it, and they didn't get any value from it, so the screwdriver suddenly opens the door here for Zoda.
Really, really nice. We haven't seen that since game number 1, by the way. I wouldn't even say game 1, round 1 of game 1. It's been a while. Now, with a huge cross chop to the neck, though, as Zoda's starting to answer back, this is the Zoda that we saw earlier. Can you continue, though? Indibindi bringing out their own, though.
Baby.
And that's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt. It won't actually absolutely kill you, but it will burn out as well in addition to that. So not only are you even, but now you're in a difficult spot here. You have nothing you can utilize, and that's why you see this pressure constantly coming through. You try to hold that impact. You try to answer back, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. 1, 2, 3 punch, and then they are going to swallow it down. Indibindi going to be your champion here. Straight 6 in the Summer League.
Insane work right there. Beautifully done. 4-1 in the round score nonetheless. I believe a grand total of 3 earned by Zoda. And Indibindi is able to collectively win the most. Is this a best of 9 here that they're playing, or are they just messing around here?
I don't know. They might be messing. You see the score is 4-1 in the best of 7, so that should say that Indibindi won it here. Wondering if we can get any word from production to see if there's been any changes to what we know at least.
Yeah, I'm actually really, really curious about that one, but so far we're watching Zoda get a little bit tagged down. Maybe there was a situation occurred that we just weren't really aware of, and we'll have to keep eyes on that one. Wondering about this, though. A quick little tap on the side. You can see Zoda just kind of holding their own here. Still, though, Indibindi maybe just running it back and saying, listen, if 1 wasn't enough, let me make sure match point is huge for me.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, go at it. Love to see these two battle it out regardless.
All right, all right.
There we go. We got the word. And listen, we just wanted a victory lap. That's all it was. You know, Indy was like, hey, number 6 seed, I wanted to show it to you. And Zoda had said, hey, listen, I know I can beat you. I want to get back out there, and that's what we were seeing there. But again, congratulations. It was technically, you know, with the number 6 seed, an upset, but based on, like, their character choice and selection, we knew it was going to be close. And sure, Zoda did take 1 game, but Indy was classically just phenomenal here in this one, honestly.
Said, I understand now. And I think that's the thing. You also talked about the stylized matchup. Zangief is such an all-or-nothing kind of character. You go ham, and we saw it at the very end. You go for those screwdrivers. You go for the open-hand chops. You basically go for the bluster moves. But Aki is so good at keeping it at bay. It was just a problem. So maybe it was a stylized matchup. Maybe there were some issues in there. And if that's true, then Zoda might come back. Maybe in the Fall League. Who knows? Maybe we get to see a Fall League play and all of a sudden a rematch of those grand finals. That would be the most interesting part. But at the end of the day, Aki, that was Indibindi taking it all the way through. Number 6 seed, your champion here for the DAFGL Summer Playoffs Finals. Very, very well done. They will earn, I believe, a $125 gift card. And it looks like they're just having a little bit of fun. I love this. Oh, these are the replays. I lied. Look at this, though. Aki, after some of the early setups, these combos never ended.
Yeah, the pressure was relentless here, and just the right time to use the drive meter too, so you weren't using it too early. It was rare. I don't think we saw Indibindi burn out at all, maybe once. And look how they keep just an eye on this one and utilize the burnout on the other side. Once you get them cornered, there's nothing you can do there, as Zangief just wasn't able to find enough whenever Aki got in.
I mean, that's a treat and a half here, and you can see just the understanding of the matchup. And there's something in my opinion when it comes to the FGC. Once you start reading your opponent, it's kind of game over.
Yep.
It's just brutal. Like, once you start getting read, there's no opportunity. You have to mental reset. And remember how fast they went from rematch to stage select. There was almost no time to mentally reset. You're right into the next match. It's a rough time for Zoda there.
Yeah, it certainly was. Wasn't it a preview that we've got to see here as well, Orbital? So, again, just pile driver was able to kind of keep them in it, but then, of course, at the end of the day, like you mentioned, you just kind of throw those last little bits out desperation, if you will. But at the same time, it's so hard when Aki is so quick. You have to be able to find the right time and be able to react quickly with some of those drive parries. A little bit quicker than that, otherwise you're going to be hit all day long.
Yeah, I'm really wondering if we ever get to see Zoda just kind of like hard recover, and I wonder if there would even be a character select. I understand that like, hey, Zangief is good, but maybe you do need to swap out of that matchup. Maybe go to something a little bit different. Maybe go to maybe less comfort, but a little bit more matchup presence. So. Who's to say exactly what they want to do? We are going to go to a very short intermission, though, to get ready for some of our next matches. So please don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the DAFGL Summer Playoffs. We just watched an amazing matchup as the number 6 seed Indy Bindi took down the number 1 seed Soda in a thrilling 4-1 series. A very, very strong show, and one that they hope to let us know a little bit more about. I do believe we have Indy Bindi here for an interview, which is going to be a treat. Again, an Aki versus Zangief, it's a matchup we know and love, but at the same time, to be able to take down the number 1 seed 4-1, amazing work. Unfortunately, I think we do not have Bear Light as much as we wish. Bear Light, please go ahead and start breaking down one more time. Now that we have you in here, can you go ahead and break down exactly what happened in this matchup?
You know, what happened in this matchup, now that I've got the mic hot and ready to go, appreciate that, in word. While we're waiting for Indy to get back in here is just Aki playing very well into it. You have to be able to execute. Yep. You saw, the first game not go your way, but at the same time, you're really just trying to feel it out. So that bit of versatility, able to keep that zoning necessary and the positioning necessary as well, certainly played into the role of Indy here today as they're able to take that championship.
And I'm a little bit worried because I want to see them again, and I'm always curious because if the 6th seed could have done that, what about, Auto Magic over there in the 3rd place? I wonder how close that would have been as well. It was so much fun to watch, and again, this was what really kicked it off here, I think, when we were watching this kind of roll on through from corner to corner. This is not, I don't want to say this is easy to do, like just consistent pressure into a stun, into a finish is a wild way to take a round.
Yeah, throwing overheads whenever you saw that defense on the low side, just the constant pressure was huge. But then when you back them into this corner, instead of allowing Zangief to get back up, you have to be able to time those to get them in throw loops that where typically Zangief is going to be the one that has the advantage in those situations.
And then making sure to time these, I believe this was one of the level 3s that was thrown out here. It was very understood how you want to make the space work. But Zoda just never really got out from that corner. This was one of the only rounds we saw that Zoda was really able to have some sort of commanding a moment. And you can see the HP bar, right? So close to a finish. You barely dug yourself out of that grave, and it was just a tough moment for Zoda.
And it was expensive too, especially towards the tail end of it too. So you threw out everything that you could, and then not only do you just get nervous whenever that happens, but then you saw Indy be able to capitalize upon it. It made their life very easy as long as you can recognize that and not panic in those moments. And Indy, cool, calm, collected, and your champion again. And it just goes to show how strong you can be and how you should never fear the number 1 seed. You can do it. Indy was able to accomplish that too.
And I wonder if we ran it back, if we'd see something different. If you're looking at it as a Zangief player, or even just Zoda in general, would you rather swap out the Zangief and just say, okay, relinquish the mashup, understand, like, hey, I'm not really going to win this, or would you actually try and strong arm it? Like, you, Bear Light, as an FGC, if you were in the FGC playing ring, what would you decide to do? Like, what's the optimal path here?
Yeah, and again, it's just about being able to find a character that can break in. I like to change of pace. Of course, you like the comfort pick, but I just love the competition side of things. I love the fact that even when you go against some of the best, you're always learning something new and being able to utilize those new skills with you. Being able to find somebody with a similar character and kind of teach yourself from there. But when you're in these moments, you don't have time for that per se. I do like just being able to go in, learn a character, be able to be confident with them, but see different looks. It's not always about the character matchup. It's who's playing the character as well, especially when we talk about Street Fighter 6. And so those are some of the things that I typically focus on to get better and better as I go along, and then make your next appearance in a tournament even better.
Yeah, it would be a treat and a half, but right now we got the grand finalist, the champion himself, the one that knocked down the 1st seed into that 2nd place spot. We got Indy Bindi here talking to us, of course, from the Luke Air Force Base. Indy Bindi, welcome here to the interview desk. Number 1, how you feeling after that commanding victory?
Feeling pretty good. It was super fun. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I wanted to ask you right off the bat. Of course, Zangief took the first one. So Zoda, did you get nervous at all? Seeing that the first game was off the board, or did you kind of
Mm.
use that as a feel out as far as how the rest of the series would go?
Uh, I just like reflected back for a second of what I did wrong, and then I just adjusted, um, just to further adjust my gameplay.
And taking 4 in a row is not exactly, that easy, to be honest, even against the Zangief, where he tends to
Mm.
play extremely well with. But your zoning was on point. Obviously, your combos were on point as well. It seems like you had a lot of preparation coming into this, or did you kind of wing it?
I mean, it's mostly like a wing it kind of deal, like just
Okay.
doing my thing, like same standard play.
Orbital, he was vibing. He was vibing. Man.
Yeah. I like it. I like it, and I want to know a little bit more because you said you played back in the SF4 days. Is that what you started when it came to Street Fighter, or have you played other inside of the FG communities? Have you played in other tournaments, or is this kind of was this kind of your first step and foray into the competitive experience?
So I like back in high school. That's when like Street Fighter 4 for me was around. So that's when I picked up Street Fighter. I just played every day, like before and after school. Like I would just play Street Fighter. Like my school didn't even matter. Didn't ever said that, but like I just played a lot of Street Fighter. And then yeah, I joined like little small tournaments, and I was just at Evo like 2 weeks ago, whenever that happened.
Hey.
So it's been
Oh,
pretty
did you
fun.
wait? Did you compete in Evo? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Oh, dang!
Mhm.
How did you do there?
Uh, I did all right. I made it
Nice.
past like day one. I kind
Hey,
of lost
listen,
on day
day
two.
one for Evo is awesome. Hey, listen, just one, that's all you need, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And taking a look at the competition here for yourself, were you kind of expecting to make your way into the grand finals and actually win it all, or were you more a little bit more wary of your competitors? Because I know you played in the regular season as well, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's like super good, so it's kind of like I don't want to say like a coin flip, but anything can happen.
Yeah, it is the FGC, right? It really
Mm.
does depend on how you're feeling on the day a lot of the time. But hey, you proved to be the best on the day. A 4-1 scoreline, a lot of those being 2-0s. Indy Bindi, congratulations on cementing yourself as the summer playoff champion here. Do you have any final words? Anyone that you'd like to thank here before we let you go?
Honestly, I'd like to thank I'd like to thank Zoda and all the rest of the competitors. Zoda
Hey.
has really put me on with like making friends and stuff. Through he runs this like thing called like Airman Fight, so I really do appreciate that. It's allowed me to play with more matches and connect with people online, and then through you guys too, um, allowed me to meet some people, make some friends.
Hey, that's good to hear. Listen, it's all about the camaraderie at the end of the day. Congratulations again, Indy Bindi, for your victory. We look forward to seeing you play in future seasons as well, and maybe to defend your crown.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise, I would like to participate. All
Of
right.
course, of course. With that being said, that is the Street Fighter side of things. Indy Bindi, I love the humbleness that came out at the end of that. You could hear it, just very, very highly commending his competitors as well. Even hearing that, they aren't just competitors, but they're also friends outside of it. I think that's what the FGC is all about.
Yeah, definitely humble for sure, and that's the attitude you like to bring in because that's an individual who's willing to learn, very coachable, tends to be. So Indy certainly was one of those that learned. He said it's a coin flip at any point of the day, but today it seemed like a double-headed coin on his side. So he played extremely well. Credit to Indy
Yep.
for being able to be that champion and make and create his own destiny here today.
All right, with that being said, though, we are getting set up for our next matchup and our next finals, which is going to be the CoD Warzone Kill Race, which is going to be very, very thrilling to watch. You know the teams are ready to go. So we'll go ahead and go to a short break, get that all set up, and when we come back, the final DAFGL Grand Finals will be played here on day number 2 of the Summer Playoffs. Don't go anywhere. Once again, we are here. Thank you so much for your continued patience. We had a little bit of an elongated break, but we are set to go for our finals of this weekend. The DAFGL Summer Playoffs will be concluding here after this CoD Warzone kill race. I am very excited. Once again, my name is Orbital. With me is Bearlight. My hair's all over the place, and we got two amazing squads, or duos, if you will. Bearlight, are you ready?
So ready. Of course, it's been an amazing weekend thus far. Starting off with Marvel Rivals and Street Fighter 6. Those were both amazing, but what a way to wrap up this weekend. I'm excited for some Warzone, ready to get into it as well. So Orbital, show us the way.
Yes, it is going to be a treat. We got two amazing squads coming in here. We got the #1 seed coming in, Warzone Warriors, which is going to be Hangdog and Blur Antics. These two have been making their way through the bracket very, very comfortably, and now they're set to try and take this BO5 at the end of the day. Meeting them on the other side is going to be Cryptic AYS and Grass, the oldest AFG duo.
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome matchup for sure. #1 versus #2, which we haven't seen very much this weekend at all, to be honest. Now they're going to go up against one another, like you mentioned. Perfect runs from both of these teams, so they're going to squad up against one another, and they'll be facing off here in the kill race. So I'm excited to see what loadouts they go with. I'm excited to see who gets off to a grand start, who drops hot to kind of play bold. It's all on the line here today, and I'm sure the players will reflect that exact same play style.
Yep. I mean, when you take a look at their rankings, we have a little bit of insight, and those that have watched maybe some of these players play know their rankings as well. But I think the lowest we have is a Crimson, right? So it's going to be an absolute treat to get to watch all these players and really kick things off to a large degree. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to a kill race, everyone kind of knows it's for dance. Nowhere else are we going to go. So pretty stock standard map, nothing crazy. And to keep in mind how this is scoring, it is not about placement, because both teams will be rocking with the same on the same squad, just in separate duo factions. It is all about the kills. And if the kills are tied at the end of this game, we will also be utilizing the most damage dealt. So both of those factors will be utilized to try and get a $125 AFG gift card if you place first in. For me, that's what I would like to see as well. So one of these squads will get that. One of the squads will get $75 instead.
Yeah, why not double what you got there? And of course, securing $75 already is awesome. And if you were able to participate, those that you saw on the bracket, 3rd to 4th at $50, they're not going home empty-handed. Neither are 5th through 8th with that $24 Air Force gift card as well. So, of course, we show some love to the players who's showing up for the Summer League and all other leagues here at the DAFGL. And it's going to end well here with the Warzone side. I'm excited now that we know the players to be able to see these players in action as Warzone kill race starts now. Here you're seeing the teams. As you mentioned, the #2 seed, the oldest AFG duo, going up against Warzone Warriors.
It's going to be a treat and a half. So, my thoughts rocking into this. My thoughts, of course, you got to find the kills. You got to drop fairly well. We've seen teams before. It's one of two strategies, right? It's either you opt into the hot zone drop, you pray that you get a good drop, and maybe take the high ground in some of these higher buildings. But the other side is actually you land a little bit further out. Maybe you're taking a look at Quarry, maybe you're looking at Dam, depending on the flight path, and you run a little bit hot. I mean, both these squads, oldest AFG duo, I think they've been playing since 2019, is what they said before. Yep. And for them, they're rocking out. They're trying to do the best that they can. And I mean, if you want to start off slow, build up your econ, and then work your way in, that's a possibility.
You got to have confidence going up against the #1 seed. They said that, quote, the chemistry is unmatched. That is what Cryptic and Grath are spitting out here. So if you're Warzone Warriors, you're coming in, you're taking that challenge for sure, because they're multiplayers. They're not really, Warzone heavy. I mean, you've got experience within Call of Duty, though, right? Hangdog, the Code Bowl 2022 and 2023 silver medal recipient, so obviously has some experience on that end, plus Blur Antics as well, former Fortnite pro. So these players certainly have experience. And of course, the mouse today, no other than what you mentioned, Verdansk. Verdansk. And if we get to it, Verdansk and Verdansk.
Yep, gotta love it at the end of the day. So we'll see how well they drop. I'm always curious to see where the drops land them and where they decide to split off. Now, obviously, keep in mind as well, for those that might not be aware, can't really just straight up try and kill your the opponents. That's not how this works. It's all about a kill race. It's all about trying to find the opponents. So generally, you see them kind of split off in two different directions, and that's what we're kind of watching for. I love the fact that you're talking about, the background once again and really getting a treat, but You also talked about something that's very, very important. Those scans, the UAVs, and all the extra components that come with it. How quickly are you hoping to see these come into play? Because obviously, you got a couple zones and everything. How soon do you expect to see some of these come out?
You got to get quick cash, and you have to get that early intel as well. The way that you do that is by making sure that you drop hot, to be honest. I don't think there's any other way to do it. Otherwise, you're not really accumulating, snowballing that cash as you get across the map, as you look for those early rotations, which is also incredibly important. So I look for them early for sure. You work UAV early, meaning that you have that intel to be able to get those initial kills. Eventually you're working towards that advanced UAV as well. Those are the two hot ones for me, for sure, as far as what you're buying at the buy station after your loadout, of course. Getting to your loadout is most important, making sure you're safe during that time too, because you're 2 going up against 4. So it's all about being able to play strategically, but at the same time, you never want to be in a quiet location either. You got to find the right balance.
So the question would then be, do you actually try and kill steal from your opponent? Because that can always be dangerous, crossfire and everything like that. But is that a valid strategy? And I know some people have tried it in some of these kill races. It never really works out because you're splitting time. There's a higher chance of you just getting locked into a third party situation. But would that be a valid way to try and deny a lot from the opponent? Because I know, listen, you're the first seed versus second seed. Probably won't happen. But if you're trying to just get in the way of your opponent, because remember, whether by 10 kills or 1, you got to take that victory.
Listen, if you're thirsty enough, you can 100% do that, steal those kills, and feed off of those eliminations like we've seen in the past. But of course, a little bit of a cheeky way. Maybe it's a way to get into their heads for sure. But let's go ahead and get in the action here, Orbital, as we kick things off with deployment beginning very soon. So excited to get things they're rolling and up and going here, Orbital, as things kick off. But I want to talk about, the drop zones. Where is that going to be overall? And for me, you love downtown. I'm always a fan of Super. I'm wondering where you're typically going to drop.
Oh, I'm a rat. Don't ask me how I play this game. I'm a rat 9 times out of 10. You've heard me talk about all my other games before. I'm 100% a rat. Listen, I'm going damn, I'm going military, I'm going anywhere that there is no action, and then I make my way in. I'm also a sniper to the core, meaning I don't like close range, which is what a kill race is all about. You're going to see the flight path moving in northwest to southeast zone full east. This is going to be a hot run in if you land outside.
Yeah, of course. I'm looking to see what the strategies might be. There are situations where you can drop a little bit less than hot, so that way you're guaranteeing yourself a little bit of extra time on the map, which could prove a little bit fruitful. So instead of just hot going stadium, let's go in between stadium and downtown, maybe find a little bit of those outside houses. You still get decent loot. It's not gonna be the same as stadium, but obviously you want to see where they're targeting, and right now they're eyeballing stadium. Whether or not they're gonna get that far, maybe TV station could be an option here too, as you're looking here from the perspective of Blur Antics.
And really, you just keep an eye. I love this call. You go ahead and spread out a little bit. It's a deep fly path as well. And you were talking about stadium. I don't think anyone's really in zone. Oh, I love that. Yeah, go ahead and have a little bit of cheeky fun. I love that call. Messing with your teammate, getting a little bit chill. Nothing crazy about it. Deep dive in, though, so they are going to have a little bit of heat with them. I take that back. Heavy heat coming in here. Let's go.
Get in, get early, and get active. It's what I've wanted to see, but it makes me nervous. Maybe there's going to be quicker games than usual. Also, you have the potential of being shot out of the sky, so obviously you don't want it to end that early, not even get to the ground first. But you see the drop here at Super, and now we begin things here as, of course, we follow along with these graphs. Is going to be part of the oldest AFG duo. We'll be watching Hib and Crypticase will be the 2 on that side. So for those of you watching the War of Zone Warriors, again, Hangdog and Blur Antics will be those 2. And you see early drops, able to get those, but not much action, not as much as we anticipated here on that side at least.
No, because, well, right now we're seeing a little bit of a different strategy. You're immediately inside the middle. Hangdog starts things off with a nice knock, but no finish just yet. And you're just making sure that you're not going to get caught unawares, loading up on some of that armor plating and making sure you're ready to go for the battle. I really do appreciate this, and it's a little bit dangerous, but Hangdog going ahead and going a little bit ham here, taking out Davi, and that's going to be a pain. So right now, it is going to be the #1 seed coming in with some solid finishes.
You just saw somebody going through blue. Good communication, too, as you see them work together. That was great spacing. It's something you have to consider as a duo, especially if you're going up against full-fledged squads. If that communication's not on point, it hurts you even further. As you see them drop some plates for their teammate, too, they should be able to plate up pretty strongly here, too. And, of course, you've got those perks along the way. It depends on what you bring on, but, of course, maybe that'll help in the future, too.
Well, here's the downside, though. We just saw Hangdog actually get taken out, and I had no idea how, but Hangdog is already in the gulag. Hangdog already got taken out by a random stray battle, which is actually really, really bad. So there's a rule in this that I believe if your teammate goes down, you can't revive like that. You can't revive off the gulag. It's a whole different story. So this actually puts a huge opportunity over to oldest AFG duo.
If that's the case, it's going to be an incredibly uphill battle for Cryptic, who will be solo. It already is, let's be honest, because if you drop, that just makes life incredibly difficult. Crypto already still has this too, but you're looking at the cash feeds as well. You see Graphs in a great spot. We talked about their chemistry and how they were confident in it. We've seen that too as we're watching from the perspective of Blur, who's also put it up ready to go with plenty of cash in hand. Graphs already using some of that. You imagine it be for a loadout. We'll keep eyes on it.
Okay. No. I was a little bit wrong. I do apologize. I do believe they are able to revive from the gulag. It is when they are fully eliminated. They're not allowed to jailbreak. Yeah. That is what I was looking at. So I do apologize about a little bit offside. So Hangdog, no worries. You're coming right back into play. And it still puts a very nice leverage in their pocket. I like this call, though. Dropping in a little bit of a loadout piece. Grab what you want and get ready for the battle once again as we swap on over. Taking a look at Blur Antics. They get picked just a wee bit. Lit up on their armor, so losing a couple plates.
Yeah, I feel like they've been the more aggressive of the two teams, which is crazy to see. Unfortunately, you know, when you see Hangdog drop early, that's probably part of it, right? But you see another knock on their end. So Hangdog, I guess that's really paying off for them. Sure, you pay a little bit when you go to the gulag, but the fact that you're able to win that 1v1, you have confidence in that to be able to break through. It's not the end of the world at the end of the day. And so, of course, that kind of gives you that head start, and you can tell that they're just being a little bit stronger, a little bit more aware of their surroundings when they take the next fights coming up here as the circle closes.
Let's see if it helps out at all here. A little bit of a touch and go situation as you bring on out a very nice helicopter, just relocating a little bit on that other border. And I like this call again for Blur Antics. One of the big things is you lost out on Hangdog, so you got to kind of re-up everything. And you take a look at the eliminations right now. Very, very quick kills. Already 4 in pocket for that duo. Very, very comfortable in their own. So I really, really like that. You start things off strong, which means that you put the other team at a straight-up disadvantage right out of the get-go. If you both play really, really safe, all of a sudden that I think 5-2 is going to actually be kind of tough to deal with.
Loadout drop is down.
Ooh.
We'll see, they just missed that. Got to be able to land those. We'll see that feed disconnected. We'll be able to switch over to another one here shortly. But yeah, they got cracked here. So I'm wondering what took place there on that side. So we'll be sure to get that feed up and going as soon as we can. Because yeah, you see on the left side that Grass went down there. I believe they're not. No, they're completely down in the gulag now.
That hurts. This is what we kind of want to see. Those gulag ticks off so quickly. And I guess you also want to use it ASAP, right? You want to get that out of the way before you get caught in a firefight and things go really, really south. So you get it out in a moment where it's easy to work with. And this is the call, right? Cryptic saying, okay, I got to wait for my teammate to come back from the gulag. I got to wait my time and just bide. Don't want to get caught unawares. A little bit of noise on the top side, though. And now you're caught. And it's going to be a little bit of fuse. You got to go hide. And this is going to be the problem. You got to look around. And this is the problem. Your squad is now being hunted, caught out in the open. Cryptic AYS going, guys, this ain't pretty. Help.
Bounty on their head. They do have the loadouts, though, which is great. But you see another one go down. Cryptic and Blur Antics was able to kind of step up with it. So 1 for 1 here on the gulag. Hangdog and Blur Antics actually both on that War of Zone Warriors. So now that both of them hit the gulag on the other side, it'll be difficult. It looks like Blur Antics is completely out now.
Mm-hmm. And so you're only going to be bought back is the big question, which is a problem all on its own, right? You got to be able to lock up that money, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at a little bit of a spinneret. I appreciate this. I highly appreciate this.
Yeah. 100%. You got to be prayer. You got to get in that groove. And of course, if you have a certain aspect that's about you, you want to be able to bring that confidence. But we'll see if they get this in this 1v1. Chase down. They weren't even looking the right way. Still, you got to win that battle. That was a little scary, I'm going to be honest, Orbital, but he got it done.
Listen, you got to have some fun in there. The guy ran right by, so you got to bring out the good old, you miss me, buddy. Very, very nicely done still, and we're kind of waiting this moment again. It takes a while. We got to watch all the gulags play through, so Blur Antics might be hopping right back in, but there is going to be the kill count right now. Remember, these kills, I believe, do count to your help, but Hangdog actually went down again. What is going on here? What is all of these deaths and problems? Another release comes out as Blur Antics is going to be fine, but There have been drops on either end. Both teams running hot in the paint right now, if you will.
Yeah, huge opportunity for them to do more. But
Oh,
you're getting
no!
absolutely
He didn't
angled
get it!
both ways. Fell down, wasn't able to get that. Just the elimination, nothing more.
I don't even think he got the elimination. Did they bleed out? Did they fully bleed out, or did they get up?
I think they might be fully out orbital.
Oh. No. The opponent, that was a full commit just for that final kill. I think they knew that they were kind of in trouble there. But I don't know if they got the kill. That's the question. Oh, dang. That hurts. Right now, it's only Blur Antics and Cryptic AYS both sitting up for their teams. Not really enough to buy back at all. But, I mean, they're going to try their best. It's a lot of run and gun and a lot of hoping at the end of the day as they... everyone came back from the Google and like, all right, gotta loot up, gotta find an empty building, but that's a problem. Cryptic AYS, recognizing that they're getting smoked out here, gotta get away from the opponent, waiting for a chance to shoot back, but no, don't want to worry about it running into a larger building instead.
Yeah, it's probably the right move here. Obviously, you want to check your positioning on a constant basis when you are being hunted, and right now, they certainly are able to ditch out to patio before anything else develops further. And you know, they're below you. You want to find these power positions because that's where you can really play from a place of strength, especially when you're going to be outnumbered in a majority of fights. So I do like this tactic. Was able to turn on them. Great. Get the knock. I'd like the thirst here as well, just making sure other teammates aren't there, and they will be knocked, but at least they got that kill before they dropped.
Still, though, very, very nice pickup of one, but taking a look, and I believe that's it. A call down of the point system, and that'll be game number 1. With everyone kind of eliminated, I think that's how it goes, and we'll see what the point total is. I have no idea what the point total is, unfortunately. I do believe that would have been number 1 if we... not number 1, I think number... Was it number 2? I think it might have been the oldest AFG duo that had more kills because he dropped a little bit hotter, I think, in there, but we have to double check the stats. Oh, okay, so Warzone Warriors actually took game number 1. Very nicely done.
Yeah, Cryptic tried what he could at the tail end of there as they had that opportunity, but unfortunately they dropped. Gratz was able to gain 1, I believe, before they dropped as well, but it just wasn't enough. Yeah, Warzone Warriors did catch a couple in a row. They got hot. I believe they almost eliminated an entire team to start things off. Then they're able to kind of swing by, and so their drop zone maybe is not as hot, but they're able to get to their loadout, and they were maybe the only ones to do it. I believe I saw Hangdog got a little bit of a sneak peek as far as what their perks were, but by the time I was able to check it out, they're in the gulag, so it was hard to see what they're rocking here. I know part of the equation was the tempered, which I definitely recommend, especially when you get those armor plates really quickly in those outnumbered situations. We'll get to see it further in this round number 2, but great job from Warzone Warriors to kick off early.
I mean, they're the number 1 seed for a reason. Now, here's the question, though, because you hot drop as soon as possible, and there's a lot of problems with that, I think. But at the same time, you saw that heat jump to them. And this right here, watching Blur Antics and Hangdog just go ham in the paint and immediately get dropped a few times, we saw them really get ahead early. And then those gulag rounds, I think, really popped in and gave them a huge advantage on the on the Zone Warriors. I'm going to call them Zone Warriors. That's all I'm going to call them. It was insane work overall. I love a couple of these shots. Great tap to finish them off. And it just kind of got caught in the wrong spots at the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. And you're forced to win your 1v1s and you're good at doing that if you want to be successful here, and you don't get to the finals unless you are successful. And a lot of this is paying off because we saw, Zone Warriors are the ones that play multiplayer on a regular basis, so they're very, very much intact and comfortable with taking those situations, and it showed. In the gulag, they were certainly excellent, and when you're able to get back, give yourself extra shots, needless to say, that gives you those opportunities to get those extra kills and be able to find some success towards the tail end there and get you yourself a 1-0 lead here in the best of 5 finals.
So my question now becomes, where do they decide to go after this? Because obviously Stadium was a big pop-off. They barely moved. I think they barely moved towards that east side, and that was about it. Where do we look at next for the next next LZ? Because Stadium obviously was a little bit off the beaten track. I believe they had to fly fairly far to the east side. Do we get to see another hot drop there, or are we hoping for somewhere else?
I don't know, man. I'd like Superstore personally, but it's all about preference at the end of the day. It's what do you know the best, especially when you don't have as much Warzone experience. I assume over the course of the season, they got to learn exactly where they want to drop. And you don't want to drop same places either necessarily unless you're super confident with it. It didn't quite work out for either team, I would say. But Superstore just gives you a great opportunity to be able to play off of stairs, to be able to watch rooftop where a lot of individuals drop. As long as you can play corners like you do in multiplayer, that that gives you ultimately a great spot. That's a potential to drop for sure. Or if you want to go a little bit less aggressive and maybe not catch more, I would suggest maybe dams, for example. Lots of clusters of safes and possible helicopters too. We saw the heli used a couple of times, and rightfully so here at the Air Force Gaming. That's super appropriate, and hope to see a little bit more of that too, man.
Yeah, listen, the DAFGL, sponsored by the USAA CoD Warzone Kill Race, coming to you hot with your next beautiful map, fresh, brand new, never before seen for Dance. It's gonna be a treat, and I really do need to see that flight path, right? I really want to see exactly where they're gonna go, and if we are gonna see a swap up, or if we're gonna see everyone just once again aim for that constant barrage in. I do wonder if we are gonna see that idea of, if we see a massive amount of the lobby jump, we jump too, kind of idea. And if we're going to get kind of that mindset shift, as if you lose this one, the oldest AFG duo is going to be in that string of, how the heck do we bounce back from this?
Yeah, and of course that's when you want to switch earlier and be able to make those adjustments now, so you're not thinking about that on the other end. Easier said than done, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to just dive downtown and be like, we haven't tried this before. You know, it's probably not going to work out for you. Obviously, the loot's nice there, but I would say, considering the fact that we didn't see anybody truly get to utilize their loadouts, sure, we saw an individual grab that, but we weren't able to see that for an extended period of time. I don't believe any UAVs were unlocked either. You were able to grab enough cash for the loadout. That was about it. That's what makes me consider the fact to go maybe a little bit lighter and go towards that dam or another port, for example, if you want to go southwest instead, depending on which way that this is going to come in. I would say maybe that's a good idea. Allow yourself to loot, be able to get those. Maybe, get your scavenger going as well, if that's going to be one of your perks, and start to really get things going. Get a contract or two. Get to know. Get some intel. Then get rolling. That should bring you a little bit more success, at least on paper there, Orbital.
I love the fact that you point out, get some intel, when they were being intel themselves. Like, they were the ones scouted out. They were the ones found out. It's like, I mean, what can you do? You're trying your best, and we give them credit for that. So yeah, maybe some adjustments in there. We see a little bit of a swap up. Either way, we're diving into game number 2, which may or may not put the number 1 seed, the Zone Warriors, into championship point. And if so, they will join a long list of players that has so far landed in that first place spot. Last question, of course, is how hot is this deployment going to be? We're going to take a look, have a little bit of fun with it. I love watching some silliness here. So southbound on the zone, a hefty amount of choices here.
Yeah, I do. They're eyeballing Boneyard, which is good because you have Superstore and train station, but you don't want to get wedged in between, so that'll be important for the rotation side if they end up deciding to go there. So keep that in mind too. It's not just about picking a safe spot, but it's about one that where you have those open lanes to be able to rotate where you need to go across the map. So don't leave yourself a possibility of being third-partied or sandwiched in between two very dangerous zones.
Let's see how they wish to drop. Already dropping out here. It's Stadium once again for the side of Hangdog and Blur Antics. But just on the outskirts. I like this call. You go ahead and wait. We only see about 2 or 3. I'm assuming there's about a good 10 or 15 that they're going to fight. So they go ahead and land in barn and just kind of loot up for the moment. Give themselves a little bit of time. See who else is going to be flying in from the outside.
Yeah, their weapons could be better, but also could be worse. I believe it's an SMG that they were able to pull up, so that's nice, especially if you're going to be able to go house to house here and have those close-range battles. So you have a good balance between mid-range and low-range, too. Plus, you're getting 250 cash per open of these boxes, loot boxes, so that's helping out. As you see, Blur Antics, the first one to drop, and they've already gotten $2,200 to the name because of it. So that's why we encourage a quick drop, and you see nothing less than that for Blur Antics. So trying to really beef up what Zone Warriors did in map 1.
And I like it. You're not contested at all. This is what we were talking about. It's a quick loot. It's a quick scavenge, and then immediately head into stadium. Pick up 1 or 2. We haven't really heard anything from Grass or the oldest AFG duo. I believe they landed a little bit further away. Once we see the map pop, maybe we can see a little bit more about it. But for right now, it's a very comfortable spot. And you can see Zone Warriors, they really do appreciate their central plaza, their outside stadium. This has now been their kind of home and joint to go to, which I appreciate. Oh, Cryptic AYS already buying in that UAV, like you called out earlier, Bearlight.
Yep, that was my thought process here. You know, if you can be on the right side of the intel, that's certainly good. We'll see if knockdowns start to occur here, but this is a very common spot to drop as well when you see a lot of pros play. I'm a big fan of Z-Laner, for example, likes this spot, but you see right off the bat a bit of a thirst elimination down. They go. So Grass and this oldest AFG duo, this is exactly how you want to start things here.
Again, not that much competition, and you go ahead and pick off the other two that were there. You know two are maybe in the bunker side, but I appreciate this. AFG Duo, once again, off to a hot start. I mashed those two words together somehow. I don't know how, but they'll go ahead and look for a little bit more. And one of the big things, they only had that duo that they just fought. Stadium has way more to play with, and that might be Zone Warriors going ham and ballistic. UAV inbound. They go ahead and say UA's whatever. My brain does not want to work right now because I'm just watching this high ground status saying, okay, who else are we going to find? And this is the perfect pickoff from ceiling to ground floor. Blur Antics blurring the lines of how many kills are going to be in their hands.
And think about how many people are actually going to go towards the top of the stadium. It's actually very smart. And the timing was immaculate because they were finally being, located from the lower spot. And so elimination and might have the thirst, grab an extra one. But Hangdog's doing work on the other side too. In a hot battle though, and they'll drop down because of it. Thirsted in addition to that. But you do get a little bit of love from Hangdog on the other side of that too. So although you lost one, you're still finding some kills. Zone Warriors got to work. But unfortunately, you got a little bit more work to do in the gulag is Blur Antics.
That's a rough one, once again. But we know Blur Antics can do quite well on their own. And we'll see if they can go ahead and take that gulag victory. If they can, that's perfect. They move on in, but it is up to Hangdog to clear out the entirety of Stadium on their own. Already 2 kills for their own. Inside is Nance. C1 shots out. Big head mode activated. Lot to shoot at, and it's freebie all day long. But you need the partners. You need to go ahead and find more. Hangdog looking for the others. Here's a couple footsteps outside, but that's another 3 total to Zone Warriors.
Yeah, that would have thrown me off. So the fact that they were calm about this was certainly something special. Stadium seems to be at least calming down a bit, so they'll get the armor satchel locked and loaded here. Got plates as well, but have they gotten their loadout? Not quite yet. So I said you want to find some success here, but let's go ahead and toss it over to Blur Antics here. We talked about how they got to the gulag. Very important 1v1 battle going on here in Showers. Able to gain them access. Great job to do that as they were pulling out the grenade.
Very, very smooth work in there. Not only that, gain another kill for yourself. That's a way to pad the stats if you wish. Grass on the other end, though. We take a look. Huge shot with a sniper in there. I couldn't exactly see which one, but it works. Teammate now back in, though, as everyone from Zone Warriors and oldest AFG duo are ready for the battle. This is going to be the test, though. I think Stadium is still currently populated by 1, but I think they scanned out and they said no worries. So it is going to be Zone Warriors getting all this fresh loot, all very happy, and I believe just outside of the zone. So they're going to be more than happy moving their way in.
Nice. Now we get the chance to look at this too, as far as their loadout goes. That's a huge move because you just play extremely better. Not only do you get your perks, you get the weapons you're comfortable with as well. You're not just having to rely on whatever loot you got earlier. So that's very, very huge here for Hangdog, who already secured quite a few kills, 3 off the bat. So that's certainly something strong that they can build off of here too. I'm trying to track and see what they got going on here from this aspect here, but it's kind of hard to see there at the bottom right. But we'll keep you in tune as far as what those perks are.
Not only that, where they decide to move, loadout drop coming in now for Cryptic and the oldest AFG duo. They themselves, though, I'm kind of curious. They haven't really moved from the airfield at all, which means that they haven't really gotten any kills lately. That does worry me, personally, namely because Zone Warriors took over Stadium they lived, which now means you're in a little bit of trouble. There's a bounty out right now on a couple other opponents, so you can go chase, but that's in the hands of, once again, Zone Warriors. Zone Warriors are very happy about this. They actually find a car race, apparently. Quick swap of 1. Very nice down. This is Zone Warriors going for the fight. Finding some picks around the street. That's number 2 if you can. Blur Antics chasing up to the upper side of this hill. Looking for a couple kills if you can. Hiding behind. Smoke out on the opponent's side. Are you going to find the body? Hide out higher. Get to the road if you can. No bodies seen so far. Teammate coming around the side.
No location of it yet. Playing it relatively dangerously here out in the open. Both of them are. But you didn't hear much else, so you're confident in being able to at least try to track them down to try to get those extra kills and get yourself even further ahead, it seems like, here at this point in time. All 4 still on the map, though. Very important aspect here. They've got a good shotgun in. sniper duo. So short range, long range doesn't matter. So they'll try to hop even farther east than we saw last time from Stadium, from where they began. And so Zone Warriors are certainly making use of their ability to rotate early. You never want to get complacent. You never really want to, even though it's a camp-heavy map, being a very big extended map, you always want to be active in these situations. They'll have their hands full as well, as they've got some grenades coming their way.
Yeah, and you also saw a little bit of a peek at the scoreboard. I believe 9 kills so far for Warzone Warriors, and Oldest AFG Duo sitting only at 4. They need to get a little bit more space and a little bit more movement in that range right now if they want to catch up. And you have to be a little bit worried as the zone starts closing, as these moments start kind of closing in here. You're going to be in a lot of trouble. I say that with all the love of my heart, because you need to catch up. You need to stay within 1 or 2 if you want to make this happen. I love this, though. Grass saying, I hear somebody moving. Maybe we can get some motion going. Maybe I can get a free kill if someone comes up this line.
You gotta get the train rolling. The way to do that is be at train station, be able to find these kills. But good ping here on the map to at least be able to gain some of that intel. Like we're mentioning, you see the red dots on their mini map, so they're able to locate where they had been recently. So they're keeping eyes on where they did see them. They're able to bail out in time. In fact, they're going to be located, and that's going to come all the way from across. Yeah, right there on the other side of train station. Can they win this exchange? They're going to dive out. That's a smart choice because you aren't winning that fight. And they know it. They pop back up here trying to just dash between two. But unfortunately, we'll get knocked down there, and I thought it was going to be close. Just wasn't able to execute between those two back and forth.
And here's the problem, both in the gulag now, and keep in mind, if Oldest AFG Duo lose out in the gulag here, or they buy back and lose out one more time, that's it. That's game 2 done. Warzone Warriors are up a multiple amount of kills. And that's going to be the Warriors, so let's go ahead and watch this gulag fly on by. Quick snipes coming out here. And they're trying their best, and it is Grass to go ahead and pick up an elimination. Very nicely done. Now it's up to Cryptic.
Yeah, that was huge for sure. And Cryptic, of course, also very confident in their ability to do the 1v1. So I imagine it'll go relatively similarly. But you never know who you're going up against, and that's the issue. You never know where that experience lies. And you've already given yourself away here, too. You need to be able to... This one, unfortunately, it looked like a headshot took him out because they were about even as far as where they were going to be set up. But it did not go their favor, at least not this time.
And that hurts so much. Now Grass sitting at only 1,300. Needs to loot like crazy and try. Get some money back and get a redeploy in there if you can. That or there's going to be a whole other separate amount of issues. Hangdog and Antics, though, they're saying perfect. We know they're out 1. We can go ahead and play as we wish. We got a spot on an enemy. We can hit double digits here shortly. And we can take over this game, too.
No doubt. You'll see they're kind of in between quarry and TV stations, so they went a different route to try to maybe find a little bit of further success from what they've already been able to accomplish here. 9 kills is huge between the two of them here. And looking to... They already have their loadout, of course, as well, so, when loadout's coming down, perhaps you're looking at that. Easiest way to find somebody at the end of the day, Orbital, is being able to track where the buy zones are and be able to kind of challenge those. I always look for them in my minimap for sure. Right now, they're looking for zone 2. They're pretty far out of it, too, and the timer's going to tick down, but they still got a good 2 minutes, 40 seconds yet, and that's why you're seeing some patience. Hello? Just at the bottom side, able to pick up that kill as well. Hangdog is popping off.
I love that. They stood still. They heard a little bit of movement. They heard a little bit of sound, and they said, hey, someone's down there. Perfect free kill. Really, really well played. Very, very smart. All on their own as well. And now they get a free fire. Again, because they're outside of zone, they're the ones with their back towards, meaning they get free fire. They know the direct route behind them so far is fairly clear. And they got a beeline shot, so get some free kills, get some extra on the back end. The GPR, by the way, nasty weapon in the hands of Hangdog here. They're going to be so happy about this. Warzone Warriors basically farming it up.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. They've got their load up. That's why you see the confidence. They also have a vehicle behind them as well, so they know that. They see that on their mini-map, so they're like, we're not in any kind of rush. That's why I always recommend, the diagonal, rotation to zone, because if you find yourself in a situation where you're getting hunted down by Hangdog and Blur Antics here at the edge as you kind of move towards that zone. So great placement, great acknowledgement of how much time you have, but also how you can get to the zone in the first place.
Couple shots ringing out here. Gas moving in. For Hangdog, maybe 1 or 2 are out. The play inside. Great snipes and shots. Oh, the buddy came back. The buddy came back. Serial killer goes down once again, and That feels a little bit too bad. Hangdog gonna eat the damage. Make their way back as they finish him off. Clean shot overall. That's easy work here. Warzone Warriors up now, and I think like 13, 14 kills.
Yeah, able to replay it up, so easy going, easy done. Grass falling, though. They're going to be knocked. They don't have anything else. That should be a secure of this round here for War of Zone Warriors. Now that both of them have dropped, and the fact that we're already at 9, making 10 for Zone Warriors at the very least, that means that they're going to go up 2-0 in this series, Orbital.
Well, I think there actually was a revive. I believe. I don't know if we want to say so.
Oh,
I think
wait,
Cryptic
yeah,
was able to actually get a get a quick buy up. No, okay, there we go. Are we back? No. Okay, so no, you were 100% correct. I was looking at it, I was like, are they back? Are they good? No. That's not how it goes. Well done overall. Very, very nice and smooth. Game 2. Double digits over what the oldest AFG duo could get. I mean, this is Warzone Warriors going on a tear.
Yeah, it is. Those two are just extremely well. You can tell just by their acknowledgement of how this game works, their experience with it, which is kind of funny seeing as they don't really play Warzone as frequently. But Call of Duty is Call of Duty at the end of the day.
Yep.
Positioning is positioning. And I mean, just it was the positions they played on top of Stadium. Yep. I've forgotten all about that. That was a great way to start off. And their timing to drop down as they got challenged.
I mean, it was one of the... This is why we said Stadium is kind of that gamble area, and this is also why I say I never play Stadium. I will never play inside a Stadium. I hate it. I can't deal with this, but the push power that you get, if you are the one aggressing, it's so much freedom to play. Like 100% freedom. They racked up 6 or 7 kills in there. There was no chance whatsoever. Grass here doing what they could with a couple snipes, which felt good at the end, but that's all it was. It was snipes, right? You weren't able to get much more, even though Grass was on point. That's all they were. They ended up with only 4 out of the initial engages for the oldest AFG duo.
And what you see is, they're not even playing as aggressively as we've seen from Zone Warriors, but the problem is, you're still dropping earlier too, and it's because you're out in the open trying to get those challenges. If I'm them, you have to change it up now, obviously, with the best of 5.
Yep.
It's do or die time here at this point in time. I would rather drop somewhere where you're going building to building, taking smaller exchanges rather than being out in the open and leave yourself vulnerable there. So if it's outside of, train station where Promenade is, or if it's, just between Stadium and TV station, for example, that's a pretty good area that you can kind of get a balanced best of both worlds as far as loot and challenging, but be able to settle in from there and not have to risk the ability to be out in the open unless you have a vehicle, of course.
Yeah, and the vehicle play, we haven't actually seen either of these two really play like crazy, right? The vehicles have really been pure transportation, which I get. Obviously, they are supposed to be transportation, but they've never been used for an aggressive entry, which, granted, makes sense. You don't want to ride a vehicle as a duo and get absolutely blown apart. But I like the call. If you're going to use a vehicle, go ahead and use it to reposition, get into a better spot for a duo camp, and make it happen. Here's the problem, though. We all know what Zone of Warriors are going to do. They're gonna drop just outside the stadium, loot up, enter stadium, take some kills, and especially if the flight path works for them, it's gonna be huge. For the side of AFG, oldest AFG duo, it's on them. They're the only ones that we're sitting here going, they gotta change, they gotta make something happen, and we gotta see them risk it. We've seen them a few times, kind of set themselves in a position where to go to the gulag and try and take a kill there. We need to see it happen a lot faster.
Exactly, Orbital. No, you're spot on here, is that it's out of your hands. You can't just hope and pray that, Zone Warriors is going to drop early. Sure, they're dropping hot. And so you're like, in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, sure, like they're risking themselves. So hopefully, at the end of the day, that they're going to drop early. You can't rely on that at all. You have to make sure that you're focused on yourselves first and foremost. I know that they are, but that little piece of the back of your head sometimes likes to stray that way. You can't let that happen. You got to be able to focus on yourselves. I still haven't seen them really strive, get their loadouts as early as I'd like to. I still have seen nobody, for the most part, pick up bounties yet, which is like an easy way to do that. Or at least pick off somebody who's picked up a bounty, which you can easily see on your minimap. That's what I'd like to see from them. Get the edge on both of these squads where we haven't seen that yet. If you're doing something uniquely in order to give yourself an advantage, that's how you find yourself in the victory column.
Yeah, I want to say they did a half bounty at one point, but that's about the most that we had, actually. So we saw a bounty go down, and I do believe it was actually Zone Warriors that actually took half. That's why we saw them chase on the hillside and actually take one, and then they the bounty actually just drove off, and they were like, "We don't want to fight this anymore. We don't want to deal with this anymore." So I love the fact that that's what you were talking about. We are going to go to a quick break though, because listen, it's game 3. It's all on the line here. We'll see who changes things up. So don't go anywhere. The DAFGL Grand Finals of the CoD Warzone kill race will continue in just a bit. We are on tournament point, the third time this weekend, and the final time, most likely, unless we see the oldest AFG duo pull off the oldest trick in the book, which is a series reverse sweep. We are here ready to go for a possibility of a 3-0 sweep here in the CoD Warzone kill race, and I am more than thrilled. Bearlight, we have heard that there is now a roster change coming in from the Zone Warriors as Dante is stepping in for Blur.
You know, of course, when you're looking about match point against and you're looking from that lens, you're like, hey, maybe they should make the adjustment to see the team that's winning do that. If it ain't broke, fix it. You know what you're saying? Yep. Or at least get them some extra playing time, and that's what we'll see here today. Yes, Dante coming in for Blur Antics here, so that opens the door. If your oldest AFG duo, you know, you have an opportunity, maybe that can reset your mental, and perhaps you jump out here. But Dante is an IGL, just like we saw from Blur Antics, so that's not going to change. They're not going to lose that piece of the puzzle. Plus, I love getting the extra experience for the full entirety of the team for Zone Warriors.
And I mean, listen, you're coming in on a fresh map, brand new to the play. Listen, you got to have a new IGL for each map. Nah, it's for a dance again. We're going to have a dance of battles. And here's the question. We were just talking about it before. The fact that Stadium seems to be their bread and butter for Zone Warriors. My big question is if Dante is going to be calling anything different, right? When we take a look at these squads, especially for IGLs, I don't know. It's just a weird little thought process there, right? If you're an IGL, you're calling the shots. Where do you call your drop? Are you going to go Stadium? Are you going to go somewhere like Superstore? Or are you going to go somewhere a little bit more on the outskirts? Are you going to play outside in? What are you going to do? Do we see them change that up? Or is it more just about the all-around calls of how to engage fights?
So just to kind of highlight how there will be difference of opinions for sure. You know, I did call out how I love the Stadium drop and how on top was like such a cool area to be able to attack from. The downside of that is that if you do not, number one, hit your shots, it makes it difficult because you're not by a buy station. So it takes a little bit of extra time to get things up and going. But if you're getting those kills and landing, it can certainly pay off. So I wouldn't hate a change of pace, especially, you know, you already changed as far as who's dropping, and especially if that IGL has a better read on different areas, sure, we'll see a little bit of a change. But the fact that Stadium worked for them the last time, I'm not anticipating them move unless it's absolutely necessary.
Yep, I can agree with that one. It's for AFG Duo that got to figure out something to go along with. They've been playing since 2019, and right now it's kind of showing. They're kind of stuck in their ways of playing a little bit slower, a little bit more outside on the outskirts. And for me, I'm not saying their hands are slow by any means, but they better be ready to fire off a couple shots. They can't be dropping inside of a train station. They got to be dropping in hot. You know, if you go to Superstore, if you go to the other hot drop zones, I mean, heck. Even wait, give time, try and figure out where everyone else is going. Go with the opposite direction, obviously, from Zone Warriors. But you got to go hot. You got to try and find some kills, or else you're going to be left in the dust once again.
Yeah, nobody's been running errands all day long. I mean, the Superstore's been pretty quiet, at least on the end of our views. So I'd like that drop. I personally, you know, obviously like the area, generally speaking, just from its ability to kind of lay into some teams early and plus be able to have some coverage. But I don't see much of a change on, of course, Zone Warriors. But yes, as far as the oldest gang goes, I'd like to see a change of pace for sure. Even if they want to drop Stadium and maybe test their luck and maybe steal some of those kills. To your point a little bit earlier, I honestly don't think it's a bad idea, especially when nothing else has quite been working out the way that you've been wanting it to all series long.
And I say that with all the love of my heart. Please don't do that to your teammates. Someone's going to rage quit at the end of the day. So do not try and drop and steal their own kills. Either way, thoughts are abound on how this is going to play out. It is either the end or the beginning of a run in either direction. The end of a run, beginning of a run. Take your pick. Welcome to the Grand Finals Game 3. Dante stepping in to hang with the big dogs.
Yep, and get that prepared here, see where they drop. Already eyeballing outside the stadium. We've seen that many times. Hangdog, I don't think they're going to stray too far from what we've seen in times past. So let's see if they keep that going here. See their viewpoint. Maybe not ready to drop here, so we'll see if they make the adjustment. There you go. Now you're good. Yeah. All right, maybe make some last-second adjustments, but stadium is the mark here.
Yeah, I mean, it's straight down the middle, right? This is one of the best ways to get into Stadium. This is one of the best ways to get to Superstore if you wish. And that's what we're going to be watching for. Of course, Hangdog and the squad go ahead and make their way in. Grass as well as... gosh, my brain doesn't want to work. Grass and Dante kind of rounding out. They swapped out positional on the numbers. That's the main thing. So could take AYS and Hangdog doing their own as well. So keep eyes on that one.
Got shotgun, SMG, yeah, C9. can be pulled up. It's not the end of the world there. I like that kind of drop and looting to get that extra cash, like we mentioned too. Grat's already up to 3,200. That's the way you want to start for sure. They're inside soccer, looking for more, trying to pick up everything else that applies here within Stadium. Grass, of course, we talked, where are they going to drop? So a similar drop, perhaps picking up a weird throwing down. Maybe they have the same mindset at the end of the day. Great old minds think alike at the end of the day, Orbital.
Don't do that to them. Don't be so mean. That's rude in there, but it's so true. Of course, UAV coming out here. He had some eyes, but I gotta agree. Taking things a little bit slower, making sure to work their way in. Hangdog, they've done this before. They've made their marks as long as they can loot up very, very well. I'm still wondering where Oldest AFG Duo went. Like, I want to see their perspective and see exactly where they landed and how hard they're going to fight. So far, it's actually been quiet on either end, though. I will say for Oldest AFG Duo, we generally see them get the first kills in the start. It's the first kills for them as they kind of clear out their one opponent. And then we get to see Zone Warriors just fly by in the kill thread.
Yeah, they have been, traditionally, for sure. And you have a lot of power positions here, too, within these houses. So if somebody wants to challenge you, you're typically pretty good, but they're going to give that up to try to get to yellow. I don't think there's very much that they've seen so far and heard so far. So with those audio-video cues, they're more than confident to be able to kind of just swing through and see what they can gather in their first exchanges will be extremely important because, of course, that brings you the money you need once you get to the buy zone.
See what they can do. Quick little run through. Gotta love the quick run by. Just getting a little bit of free damage if you can. Get a little bit silly with it for their opponents. So far, though, the plaza is now clear. Zone Warriors are going all right. We got what we wanted. Let's go hunt some bodies. A lot inside. 120 players still alive to play with. Let's see if Zone Warriors can get a lot on their end of the deal ASAP.
Car C9 combo here for Dante. The IGL popping in the sub, super sub, in their eyes at least. Try to carry them to this finals championship. They're outside stadium as well, where they know their teammates are going to be. They have eyes on them, of course.
Wait, they did do it. They did do it. Okay, my eyes were lost because we didn't see them earlier. No, they all are here.
Great old minds. I said it.
Yeah, I just recognized what you were saying. I'm so sorry. That is hilarious. I love it so much, Bearlight. I love it so much right now.
Loadouts in hand as well. That's going to be great here for the team looking to close out too. Dante is able to stack up there on this end too. So again, we take a look at their perks here and see what they're pulling in. They are with the Tempered, which is honestly one of my favorite ones for sure to bring in into this one. Also Sprinter too, so they'll be able to sprint no matter what they've got out. That was on the other side of things, but this is Grass that we're looking at right now. They've got loadouts on both sides, so both teams are really thriving, which is something we really haven't seen. We saw it from Zone Warriors last map, but really nobody's stayed until the late stages. We've only gotten to about mid-game for all of these maps.
Yeah, and that's going to be the change out here. If you actually run as four, so one of the things that we talked about is obviously the kills might be split. Might be a little bit difficult to fully secure your kills, but it does give you a lot longer opportunity. Obviously, we see the split here as I like the call, right? You were looking at Oldest AFG. They were like, hey, free loadout, sure, we'll take it. Loadout is loadout at the end of the day. But you are hunting a couple squads. There was an advanced UAV actually tagged out earlier, so now there's a hunt for a kill. First meeting of the minds here for the Oldest AFG duo. They're running up, making a lot of noise. Are they going to find it quick? Red dot on hand. They're running around the corner. They're going to burst their way in through the doorway. Fire away. Free kill number one. Vito is down. Second to go. Bo Peep is gone. That's a clean whistle of two. Very nicely done coming on to Oldest AFG duo, but now they're getting shot. That's going to be the pain. They got to hold steady if they can, and we're getting a little bit of lag here, but I think they got it at the end of the day. Well done overall to the Oldest AFG duo for finding first blood.
What have I been telling you, Orbital? You have to have that intel, and once you pop it, no mistake, when you have the advantage, when you're the one diving in, doesn't matter if you're outnumbered, as long as you play it smart, you are good to go. Well, you're going to pick up your teammate here as well. On the other side is Cryptic, and Gratz will be able to travel pretty easily here, too, with that armored vehicle. Good to go and safe after an exchange. Your heart beats a little bit less, calms down a little bit before things going. You see the location here. Dante trying to snipe them from afar there. Just waited to have them in the sights for quite a while.
I love it. You were waiting for the teammate to run on out, and there they go. Now it's a possibility of three as a snipe on this vehicle. The UAZ just driving by this cargo truck might be lit up and exploded. Of course, on the flip end, there's a 2 or 3 more coming around the side. Quick shot is good. Napalm strike coming in from Hangdog. So you're going to get under cover to help out here. I love this call as well. Very, very nice to try and bottleneck and find a few more for yourselves.
Yeah, they baited out that cluster too, which was kind of just loosely played by the enemies that were in that area. So just an easy avoidance there to kind of step to the side. It's a great recognition to be able to get there, but Cryptic is popping off. They're trying to basically single-handedly keep them in it, but can they keep themselves in here? Challenge from
Hangdog
afar.
really nice. Yeah, Hangdog nice on 1. Looking for a few more of their own, and now you go ahead and just finish them off. Nice slide in from the edge. Clean up on the end, and yet again, it's Cryptic AYS going, sweet, that's 1 for us. Are we going to get more?
Yeah, currently 3 to their name. It's a good number. We'll get the Humvee too. Hopefully not too damaged from the exchange of who they just got rid of. So keep that in mind. It's very red there on the bottom side, as you can see. So hopefully that doesn't play too hard. But you have to get to the zone, and we talked about early rotations, how that's important. And also get them to the buy station too if they need it. But they're going to just roll past it if they feel confident with what they've got so far. So I don't blame them. It's you've been doing big things. Maybe they'll swing back for it. Let's take a peek. Sure enough, they are going to potentially stay up here. It seems pretty clear. I think they were just clearing the zone before they picked that up, and maybe it's a drop me off, pick me up situation.
I mean, if that's what they want to do, they can. Easy little leg on their own. I love that they're driving the most beat up of it as well. Like, the most beat up vehicle out of all of them. It's smoking right now. Base is a little bit rough, but that's about it. And you go ahead and play far and long. Looking for a spot to kind of camp out here. Maybe looking for some stragglers as well. Keep in mind, I believe AFG Duo currently have the most kills, at least by 1 or 2. I think is what they got, so it's a nice little pocket. Go ahead and load out and be pretty happy about that one. Take some time, take a little moment to breathe, as they've been running kind of full tilt for the last few minutes.
I'm wondering about the efficiency here. If Cryptic just happens to have $12,600 just to their name, they haven't used anything, or if they have, obviously they have their loadout, so that speaks volumes here. But I'm wondering about the rest of his kit too. As things kind of slow down, you never want to get complacent. You want to be able to stock up in those moments, but also if you need it most after this next exchange, maybe you're thinking about the late game, which is something that you as a team might feel you need, especially when you've seen the kills along the way from the other side who haven't had any challenge, it doesn't seem like, so far in this map. So they'll continue to kind of fight off things as they come to them, but I'm willing to see what they've got. But they got a challenge here as they're located with that intel, and they're just running away. That's one of the easier picks that we'll see as that enemy is thirsted, and another one on the board here for Cryptic.
And it's so good, again, for this duo. They immediately change tactics. They say, we know exactly what we want to do. And now they're actually sitting at 7. We just got confirmation that it's a 7-1 kill count right now, as Oldest AFG duo are making this much harder. And again, keeping track, trying to get a guess on where Zone Warriors wants to go is a strategy in and of itself, right? You try and root out where your opponent's going. You cut them off, take their kills instead, force them to reroute, maybe put them in a very dangerous position. All of a sudden you got a victory. There are so many tactics that can be played within a kill race that might not be obvious to the naked eye.
What do you get the track? I mean, right off the bat, you'd notice that your opponents were dropping Stadium pretty frequently. We talked about that aspect of it, but I'm wondering if they're like scouting the paths that they had taken as well, and maybe just clearing out where they can and just taking that risk, saying, hey, we're going to take those similar paths because we've seen you be successful. Maybe we can do the same. But it doesn't go without coincidence. I think, they've been extremely strong positionally, not being able to group up too closely unless they are pushing a building or somewhere in tight. So that good balance has certainly been an aspect here. But now we take the perspective of Hangdog on that other side as they've gotten under bridge and they're tracking something down here. They're well within this capacity of the next zone. So really, at this point in time, you're just trying to dive in and maybe make life a little bit less comfortable for those who are hanging in the zone.
I'm also kind of curious here. You take a look at the number of players currently left. For the first time, we're actually under 85 players. It's a weird one to say because we normally, obviously, there's a winner at the end of the day, but in a lot of these games were the first games that we saw, games 1 and 2, we actually saw a difficult position of, hey, we got down to 95 and then the game was over. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
Maybe that's a bit rough. No. We're actually getting down to the brass and tacks of, maybe you actually got to start fully hunting for an opponent. You got to fully start chasing into those corridors that maybe you don't like as much. And right now, there is a contract out right now. Oh boy, this is going to be a problem.
Yeah, Grass fell, and Cryptic is pretty hurt too. He's cracked.
Oh.
Still getting shot at here from above.
Oh.
Still dropping individuals as well. Hangdog's able to locate one. You saw it from a distance. Grass trying to battle that one too. Everybody going to stay alive, at least for now, but a little bit of a hairy situation that they got themselves out of. But you bring up a good point. I like to see Zone Warriors really get after it here. And right now at the edge of the zone, they'll be able to kind of camp out and maybe see those coming towards it. Or you got to turn your head, be able to get this kill too. That is Grass that gets another kill. They're just ticking them up here at this point in time. Is that another one? Wow.
That's a clean out. Listen, protect your co-pilot, protect your buddy. It's working wonders right now. A hunt inside the building as that's Atomic Banana going down. What in the world? Cryptic AYS finishing them off, and I'm pretty sure, if my math is correct, that's double digits for the side of oldest AFG. Now, of course, Cryptic AYS goes down. You knew this was kind of coming due to the fact that there were a few problems with that protect contract. But you're okay. You're gonna get up. You got a teammate. You're perfectly fine.
Self-revive there as they took their time to really get back to it, but they're able to pull them up instantly, so that's good news there for Cryptic, who doesn't even have to hit the gulag yet. You saw that, and if you're Dante and Hangdog, you're like, yo, this is great. You know, we finally see one drop. Maybe we can finally catch up. But you're running out of individuals on the map that you can kill. There's still 68, of course, but we'll see what happens here. But they're going to be downed early. Hangdog out of this one, and this is going to be strong. I believe Dante fell as well, so they're going to be sent to the gulag here. And a big opening for sure here for oldest AFG duo.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts to see, especially from the two really clean early games. I'm wondering how this is going to play out here. I'm really, really curious how, if we get to go to a game 4. We were talking about this before. It's a big treat for us to actually see a game almost fully complete out. See if it works.
They didn't put the out,
easy
they were that confident.
Easy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. But now we'll eyeball the other side of that too, the other side of the coin. They'll be redeployed, and we'll be keeping eyes to see if Dante can do the same. And you can't be sitting here wondering, hey, this is Dante's... I'm not going to say Dante's fault. Obviously, nobody's thinking that, but it's kind of difficult to put that out of your mind, especially, you know, when you make that substitution and things don't seem to be going as well as they could have been prior to it. But I don't hang this on Dante by any stretch of the imagination. Do you, Orbital?
No, I mean, you can't call one game to all of a sudden place it on their head, right? Maybe they played a little bit slower. Maybe they didn't get the loadout that they wanted. But it takes two. It takes two moments to really say, okay, yes, there are some complications. At the end of the day, though, it's a team call, right? We're not the ones in the game. We're not the ones, on the team. We can only take a look and see what happens. Is both of them getting back into the game, so they're not out of it just yet. I will say, though, oldest AFG duo makes sure to really push hard and get a little bit frisky with it, which has led to their continued success in the kill count.
Yeah, Graph's up to 5 here at this point in time. Still a lot of people in the map, though. 64, and they still have the gulag as well in addition to that, should they fall. Or maybe they just continue off. Maybe they get a Warzone victory. Suddenly they start to pop off. And of course you can't contribute it to Dante because, like, all of a sudden they're going to pop off. Like, that's not on him, honestly. But this is going to be a difficult situation, too. You drop in, you're going to drop right off the rip, too. That is not great. Found yourselves in a tough situation. You're still well ahead here, but, of course, you don't want to give any opening to Zone Warriors.
No, not at all. And you're going to try and play your way. Very nice pickups, though. Very, very comfortable pickups here by Cryptic AYS, who they say themselves is they're the AR of the team. A little bit of a flex coming in from Grass, but you know, Cryptic AYS really making sure to have that mid to close range battle very, very comfortably in their own gulag count here, though. Grass going to try their best, get snapped, possibly loses out, but a nice shot in the back. Clean pickup there by Grass, pushing them to 6 frags in this game alone.
Great anticipation, great execution, able to swing around, great patience as well, as they didn't panic whenever they got those first misses. They were able to kind of pick it back up and get the tracking they needed in order to just put it on the head and go from there. But Hangdog's got another knock. And the rest, not only is that a knock, but it's also a power position here in this area. That is a strong exchange to be able to get to the spot just outside the stadium.
Are you going to be able to find more, though? You really, really want more. You're going to sprint out. Nice split. You're going to hang back together. A little bit of a high ground opportunity. Were you able to track where they went? Possibility of them running outside of these curtains and maybe outside of these pop-ups. No footsteps whatsoever. Okay, so inside stadium they go. Big question marks. And guess what? Guess who's here as well? AFG Duo saying, hey, guess what? We're here to steal your kills again.
Welcome, my friends. You see on the map, you just give them an awkward wave on the way past, I guess. They're going right back up this top stadium, which we've seen before. And you see two dropping in, but are they dropping top stadium or right into the dome itself? It looks like they're inside of it with the loadout. So that's going to give them a prime position here up top with that scope. Easy money. And now they should be able to get another kill from this. But Hangdog going to drop, though. As a player named Eve on the bottom side, I believe, got a hit there on Hangdog. And they're dropped because of it.
Well, that hurts even worse because guess what? It's only Dante that can stay alive right now. And that hurts. You're both out of your gulag positions. I have no idea how that happened, but it's a brutal one. Really, really rough timing here. And right now, for oldest AFG duo, they're just like, perfect. We're good. We have no worries. Let's play smart. Don't let our heads get deked and, you know, just wait the timer out. At some point, you're going to see Dante get kind of clipped here, and there's no other way to play it.
Yeah, with that one drop, War of Zone Warriors become the War of Zone Warriors.
Yeah.
Be tough to try to dig out of this one. They might drop to a 2-1 inevitably unless you see an absolute performance of a lifetime from the newcomer of Dante, who does pick up one kill right on cue, and it was the payback, the revenge on that Eve player too. So you love to see that. Maybe give you a little bit of confidence rolling in, but that's all you about have here, as both of the oldest AFJ duo still have their lives intact, still not having to be forced to the gulag yet. They've been on a tear, and it continues as they've got a good positioning because they're just outside of this circle in addition to that, which won't be closing for another 2 minutes, 27 seconds.
And I love this hunt. Once again, just bulk. You're basically bulking for the rest of this zone. It's just so comfortable at the end of the day. Zone 4 about to close, as you were talking about. 20 seconds left. And poor Dante. Dante is just chilling on the outskirts going, guys, listen, I know I'm behind, but I'll try and do my best. That's what's going to happen here. That's what you're praying for at the end of the day. Question marks are abound, though, as oldest AFG duo. They're really just chilling. They have no idea what's really happening here. They're like, hey, no one's around, no real problems, so circle's going to close, and we're going to chill out next to buildings abound, and they're pretty dang happy about how this has gone.
They'll have to head the downtown route, so now it's really going to challenge them, but no challenge has gone unanswered for this oldest AFG team. But look, Dante's getting challenged here too, needed to get that knock and does, but where are the rest of the teammates that might be following suit? You got to be careful as they do pop the plates. Great recognition. Instead of going for that thirst, they're going to go ahead and turn around, get teammate instead, and the other one should be able to drop too to give them extra numbers. It's only 3 kills here, Orbital, but it's something to play off of.
I mean, that's huge overall. Yes, it's a long road ahead of you, but everyone's got to start somewhere. A little bit of helicopter overhead. Looting up quite a bit as well. Getting all the plates for yourselves, as many as you can. Now you got 63. Of course, no buybacks just yet. I don't think you can either way, but you're going to wait your timer and just try and keep yourself alive for the moment. I'm taking a look and trying to keep eyes on where everyone else is, where the rest of oldest AFG is. There you go. Nice clean kill. Hot swap. Perfectly done. And Dante up at 4.
Get it, Super Sub. Love to see it. Try to close this out. He's getting it right now. Right now, Dante has 4 total with the team, that is. So 8 plus 6. Actually, we're not sure where Hang ended up on that kill count. So it could be pretty close, but you're knocked. It's over. Dante dropped. And that'll do it. They don't have the self-revive, I don't believe. And because of that, they will be eliminated here. And we go to game number 4, map number 4. You guessed it, Verdansk. But that's how you do it. The oldest AFG duo, they went for that stadium drop, Orbital. And guess what? It'll pay off for them. And now do we showcase the rest of this map? I'm wondering how far they get. Because we talked about him having trouble getting to the end game. But this has clearly been working out super well. And a confidence booster for oldest AFG.
Yeah, actually, Hangdog's back in it right now, so I'm actually kind of curious about this one. I know last time they tried to buy back in, we actually saw oldest AFG duo try. They weren't able to make anything happen, and this is the first time also that we're seeing Hangdog actually work with a sniper. You gotta play with what you get, right? But it's a whole different story when you're sitting on top side and you're like, dang, this kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does. Cryptic drop, by the way. They'll be out to the gulag. take a peek. Maybe he's back in.
Yeah.
I believe they're able to just kind of redeploy there. So that's what money will buy you here at this point in time. But again, challenge right off the bat on the rooftop. You don't have the great position. You're also blurry. Almost got that, though, despite the circumstances, but will fall.
Ah, that hurts. That hurts a lot. And we're taking a look at those kills. You can see it's a long road ahead of Zone Warriors. And honestly, I don't know if they're going to have more than enough time. Nice little buyback once again. Dante is going to come back into this one. I wonder if Cryptic is out. Cryptic's still waiting to be kind of flown back in here. And it just hurts to see at the end of the day. So, Hangdog and Dante, listen, you were out for the early start of the game, but there's still 30 members alive, still 30 players alive. You theoretically could take it back here.
Yeah, realistically, you have best case scenario, you get about 8 to 9 kills, and that's enough to put you over that threshold. So, not done quite yet. Especially when you have Grass already out. Cryptic not back yet. Dante and Hangdog. Well, they're down a plate, but other than that, I mean, they at least are up a life, and that's been good for them. But they are in the heart of downtown, as everybody's going to be able to converge onto this too. So it's all about their short to mid-range here that's going to pay the ticket if they can. They're looted nicely for it, but again, they need that extra plate as well. Otherwise, it's going to be very much disadvantage against any team you come across.
I like how you say you just need 9 kills.
That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Just 9 kills. Just 9. While everyone else is also dropping. There's one. There's one. They picked it up. Happy is down. Another quick shot.
Wow.
Quartz Camo. What a lineup. Dante holds it down, baby. Let's go. Burn like an inferno.
Only 9 kills, Orbital. That's it. There's 3 back to back to back. Easy. Money. That's what I'm talking about. Wow. Listen, I was so hyped to see the oldest AFG duo try to hang around to not only that, but put up a great sequence.
Oh,
the fact that they're still going is crazy. Another knock from Hangdog as well.
The full squad wipe is nasty, and they see a parachute. They get a freebie. They get the shot. No, they line up in the doorway. Oh, no. You got to be picked up. You're good. You're good. Teammate's got you. Teammate has got you. So you're going to be safe. It's going to be a wholly different here. Shots ring out, but teammate is down. You got to close the door. You're both down. That's it. That is GG.
Wow.
Oldest AFG duo. Take game 3.
Man, that was close, though. They got to 10 kills combined. They were within 2, Orbital, 2. That's how close this game was, rather. That map extremely tight to the very tail end. They got themselves back into it, but it was close. That late game made for an incredible map. The excitement level is through the roof, and I'm sure the heartbeats certainly pumping there, but oldest AFG duo lives to see another one at least.
And for oldest AFG, like, this was the change. And when we see them take 18, we have to give credit where credit is due. Number one is the idea that, hey, Dante is coming in, and there might be a play style swap. Number two, you actually chase after Zone Warriors this time. You got a free loadout at the start. You didn't have to compete with anyone, and you were able to get kitted up so quickly and then steal away kills at Stadium and then run your own show. It was a wholly different idea. It was the understanding that you were behind and a willingness to put your entire gameplay, your entire tournament lives on the line for a single set. 18, whereas in previous games you got like 2 or 3 total. Massive shift.
Yeah, it was. And I apologize, I believe the kill count was 4 below. Because, yeah, you had 6 from Dante and Grass respectively. 8 from Cryptic there was a difference to Hangdog's 4. But it was still, I mean, that's putting up a fight. That's getting close. But it was the early work that was done between the combination of Grass and Cryptic. Sure, Dante got into the love pretty early here as well. They had a strong run in addition to it. But because of that early run, it was enough to hold off the hot Dante and Hangdog combo at the tail end.
It was a last little flare of excitement before things got really, really rough at the very end. So, you know, good all around. Either way, we get a chance, and I love it. We get to see, you know, the skies change a little bit, but not by that much. It is going to be the oldest AFG duo to try and kick their way in, and now I'm curious where this game 4 is going to go. Obviously, we know what map it's going to be, but is it going to be Stadium once again?
Yeah, that's worked for you last time. So, anything that can get your confidence and your brain rolling in this similar fashion is certainly something that you do. Plus, Zone Warriors haven't really changed it up much. So, the fact that strategy was cooking means that they're certainly going to drop there. For Zone Warriors, maybe it does switch for sure. And maybe you are able to beat this TOAG team. I love that. By the way, you see that acronym. Yeah, but they were able to kind of get to work here. So War of Zone Warriors still have 2 opportunities to close out. So that's how big those first 2 maps were, Orbital. But I see a change of pace coming. I think Zone Warriors will drop somewhere else for sure. Now, whether or not they're going to keep Dante in here, I don't think there's the way that Dante was able to pop off. It seemed like they warmed up towards the tail end, and they can keep things rolling at least for the next one, I would assume too.
Yeah, you go ahead and give them a little bit of time to make their magic, and again, maybe shift away, we'll see, but Dante was really holding it down. The whole reason that we even saw it get that close, they were almost going to sit on only single-digit kills, where before they were sitting at 9 to 10 to 11 to 12, very comfortably in the upper echelon. So, you made some magic happen. Here's the deal, though. Flight path might be a little bit different as well. We might see a curve towards that northern side, which I'm very curious about. We've seen a lot of play down towards Stadium, down to lower end. Granted, the zones in CoD Warzone tend to be very, very large at the start, so it covers a decent amount of ground. We haven't seen any pulls specifically towards like that southwestern quadrant, towards that southeastern quadrant either. So I'm curious if the map itself might be determining exactly how this next map goes.
Yeah, it's always up to a bit of chance, but obviously you have to kind of create your own luck whenever you get the drop down as well. So we saw a little bit of a lighter drop there too, not into the heavy aspect of things, and I think maybe that's where Zone Warriors got off to a slower start versus Oldest. So I think, you go back to a heavy zone, and whether it's Stadium or otherwise, I think that's definitely going to be the play. They didn't have the money. It was all in the hands of the Oldest AFG duo, so we'll see if they can create the same wealth that we saw. It always snowballs. And, of course, those contracts, we've talked about them constantly. We haven't seen a whole lot of utilization of that. Perhaps that's the change that you need to start to look for. And I haven't seen very much as far as the grenade usage, too. A lot of open space walking where, just a simple smoke grenade can get you cover, especially against these 4 stacks. So whoever's able to utilize that the fastest is certainly good. But I do like the fact that Zone Warriors have gotten themselves off to that 2-map lead early. Although you surrender 1, you still have these couple of chances. They're still in the driver's seat, and you have to play like that too.
Yeah, you get a little bit of time to work with, and I give credit because we keep talking about the bounties and being able to hunt down the bounties. Well, this time around, it was actually a protect the bounty situation, and it was a protection detail that actually gathered another 3 kills, I think, in favor of, I think it was Oldest AFG duo. So, it can work in more ways than one, so I'm very, very excited to see that. We are still waiting for just some of the players to hop on in. I wonder if we're looking at Zone Wars and saying, hey, do we want to swap things back up? Do we want to go back to Blur Antics, who was looking like they were on a very, very comfortable streak there, or do we want to see a little bit of a shift? And I think we have gotten information that it is Dante still sticking around. See exactly what they can throw down and how exactly it's going to pan out for them. For me, though, I'm wondering once again, how hot do you wish to drop? So far, we haven't seen the pure just run and gun style out the gate. We've always gotten about 2 minutes of slow-paced action, and then we get into the firefights.
You got to make sure that you're responsible enough to be able to win the first engagements. I can't stress that enough. There hasn't been a whole lot, even though they've dropped pretty hot, there hasn't been the situation where you're dropping same building and you have to make a quick decision. So you got to be careful in that instance whenever they make this drop your orbital.
I love this zone pull. Now, it won't really matter until like zone 3, but I like the fact that Superstore and Stadium are both pulled far off and away. Here's the difference, though. Direct drop onto Stadium if you so wish. Please give it to me. It looks like there might be a dam play from Hangdog and Dante if they so wish. There's some eyes looking up there, so it is. For the first time in the series, Dante and Hangdog saying, we don't want to go Stadium this time.
And I talked about it a little bit before. The reason why they're kind of aiming towards Dam, you have the cluster of saves, you have the helicopters as well to kind of start moving and not put yourself at too big of a risk, but you still get that fast early loot that you're looking for anyways. Plus, it opens up a massive amount of rotation possibilities. So that on that side, it can make it very difficult there. And just popping them off the air, that'll be it'll be a whim at the very least. Yeah, making a kill on their way down. Goodbye.
That's illegal, bro. Like, you gotta love those moments, though. Especially in a kill race, you love freebies like that. Listen, if you're gonna coast in, it feels great getting that free kill, getting that free pick, and starting things off. We always talked about it before. Zone Warriors were the ones that were consistently 3-4 kills in the lead, right? They were always a kill lead at the start of each game. This time around, they did the exact same.
Get yourself some. Be creative. Get yourself freebies when you can. And that way you load up, you're good to go. Plus, you have a little bit of cash in hand as well in addition to it, as you're able to loot up here too. So both of them, both teams looking to maybe have a little bit more of a chill nature early and look to kind of build out from there. As you saw the drop marked off, that's exactly where they're going. And it's exactly where they want to start off here with plenty of vehicles in hands if they need it, just outside of Dam here.
Let's see how hard they wish to run. Go ahead and slow your ways in. As you were mentioning, AFG Duo, though. They saw that kill come through, and they're like, really, guys? That's how we're playing. We're playing like this. Okay. Or their own Dante, though. Dante running up yet another, so that's going to be another good piece coming in for Zone Warriors. That's 2 total.
Go. Lined up in a good spot. That headshot will confirm 1. Dante, get on the board with a kill of their own. That'll be the first one of the map. And from the outside, too, it's not like they were in a better position here. They were just happened to be responsible as far as where they wanted to challenge it. They didn't leave themselves too exposed, but were able to get themselves just seeing if there's any other teammates. I don't think they have the intel here, so it's dangerous to guess. That's why you see them kind of inching up instead of a full onslaught. They do use some grenades in there to try to cause some damage before challenging this, but this will be a quick run up here, Orbital. We'll see if they challenge the upstairs spot and if they've heard anything. They're going to try to check stairs. Nobody here. They just got the one elimination. I guess they caught. What an anticlimactic version of this as they got 1 kill. They thought somebody else would be there, too.
Honestly, though, I like the clear. You do not want to allow a single person to catch your backside. That would be the most frustrating thing in the world. And to get caught and lost like that, especially with this great start for Zone Warriors, I appreciate it, you know? Better safe than sorry at the end of the day. As Hangdog is like, that's where the other person was. Nice little run out. Killer Pizza goes down here, and that's another great kill coming around. A couple more shots on the far end. Nice knock, but no finish. Dante has to go ahead and replay it up. Are you going to have enough time? Are you going to have a teammate to work with?
Yeah, you're cracked, so I love it. Be able to top back inside, and now look at the dedication to holding that angle, knowing that the last teammate's there. There's 2 of them. Located 1, so of course they're going to call them out too. When they're going to move, they've cracked him again. That was twice now. They only were able to play it up once before they went right back at it and got some more damage there.
The thing is, I don't know if Hangdog actually saw it. There's 2 over there. There's 1 in the doorway and then 1 on the right side, and I think they let him slip, so that's actually a really dangerous spot. Now they got the peel off. This is the right call. You back away with your team, make sure your flanks don't get caught, and you stay alive. Remember, it's a 2v4 situation, and now your squad is being hunted. Not only that, there's a bounty in progress as well, so it's hunt or be hunted, or do both at the exact same time. No idea which direction that is. I believe that's on the other side for oldest AFG duo.
Well, you kind of want a little bit of inspiration as how we're going to approach this game and how we're going to be aggressive with it, so that way we can get the kills necessary. And I guess that's the way to do it, is to constantly be on your P's and Q's. If anything's going to test their ability to stay focused, this would be it. But meanwhile, Cryptic on the other side, oldest duo, is finding some shots there. But as you saw Dante pop off, get a couple of kills right when we switch off of them. Goodness, Dante going to work, has another one.
Dante!
Let him pop, baby. Let's get it.
Dante the Menace! Holy! Oh, we can credit. Listen, Dante just said, take the spotlight off. I can't see for half a second. Wipes a whole squad. And that is Zone Warriors now with a healthy lead of at least 4.
Man, at home, your ears may be bleeding, but listen, they're bleeding on the other side of it. Getting absolutely shellacked by this Dante. Just taking out full teams by himself. I mean, that switch was probably the biggest thing that we can point to. Zone Warriors, they didn't even need a spark, but they got one with Dante coming in. That's for sure. And Blur Antics, no disrespect at all. They were able to start things off, and Dante's just looking to finish.
That's a big thing as well. Love the cover fire here, as there's already a rush for a secondary. It's going to be a pain as it's a freebie. Rigby goes down. Dante says, thanks a lot for the bucket. Long shot, 57 on that one. Clean as a whistle. So now you know there's at least one more here.
Let me tell you, when things are starting to flow for you and you get into that flow state, suddenly the universe says, hey, here's a free one, take this one as well. It's not like just coincidence. Obviously, you start making better and better decisions as you start to really vibe and get into that. In the change of positioning, gave him a change of sight line, but it was the right move to just kind of crack down here on Dam on the outskirts. If you hear somebody, go after it. Freebie out in the middle of space, not anticipating anybody to be here because the zone's going to close pretty soon. But you take advantage of it, you still get an extra kill.
All right, eyes out. Cryptic, see what you can get. Free firing off the train. Nothing working, though. You're getting lit up right now. But a nice cover from your teammate. Grass helps out, as that's their first kill of the game, though. It hurts so much to say that. We know it's clean. You saved your teammate, but it hurts to see. That's your first, as Cryptic still goes down.
No, that's not good. This might be the end of it. Dante has established such a big lead. You'll have the gulag, sure. But Gratz, first kill, of course, this late. And Dante's already taken out the entirety of the rest of the map. But they'll have 95 left, so it's not the end of the day quite yet. It's just going to be increasingly difficult given the circumstances. But if we know the oldest AFG duo, the circumstances were already stacked against them as they went down 2 maps. They're able to gather one back. It's just going to be an uphill battle, but they're willing to make the run at the end of the day.
I mean, you hate to see it. Oldest AFG duo, they're trying. What a snap, and now they get caught once again. Both get lit up. That hurts so much. I can't believe it, Bearlight. I don't want to say you cursed them. I do not want to say you cursed them, but my God, was that brutal to watch.
Feel partially responsible here, Orbital, not going to lie. But, not able to get the job done there, so they'll follow the gulag too. So Cryptic is out completely. No, they're about to have their battle now. To see if they can't stick in this.
Jeez.
And it basically feels like a victory lap here. You saw the numbers already. Dante has done so much. Hangdog has added a couple as well. And they're both still on the map. No gulag, just like you see the rest of the team here. Zone Warriors basically waving the flag of victory. Meanwhile, oldest AFG duo, they got the white flag out instead.
Let's see it. Shots ring out. Nice pop on the shoulder. No finish just yet. Swings around the right corner. Gets some more damage. Not a finish, though, because he's shooting the body. Shoots the leg to finish. And that's one redeployed down. You breathe a sigh of relief. You're not down and out yet, but you got a lot of ground to make up. Let's see if you can go ahead and find yet another here, as it's going to be Cryptic's turn.
Loadout dropped. You go right to it. That's such a dangerous play, just getting on the gulag and knowing that others are around for it. But it might be. Let's take a look. See if we can't see Cryptic do the same. He's been good at these so far and is able to finish off. Luckily, I didn't curse him. This time would have been the whole team. Glad he was able to finish that one out in the gulag.
Nice job. You get your second chance, but with varied loot so far. No, Dante's still alive. Dante is still working. Said, listen, I still got my good luck as well, but I really don't want to go down here. Got tapped on the body, looking high, looking for the swing. Gets it yet again. Dante is on fire. They just needed that moment to build up. A little bit slow on the 0 to 60, but the 60 to 100 all day long.
This man is invincible. What can he not accomplish here in this state of being? Insane stuff. He'll be able to easily armor back up. You've got the perk, you've got the plates in hand, you're able to drop a couple, just pop 2, and you're ready for the next fight. So even if somebody was collapsing on them, they would have been fine anyways. And playing a huge part. And the fact that everything seems to be stacking here as far as benefits go, whether it be defensively or on the attack, Dante's been great no matter what.
This is out of this world right now, action from Dante alone. And Hangdog being able to kind of sit back. Remember, Hangdog did so much work in games 1 and 2 alongside Blur Antics. And it's nice to see that we were correct. Dante just needed that moment to work their way up. We'll see if it works out. Right now, AFG completely out of second lives and second chances, so someone will always have to stay alive.
9-3 is the count. Dante is in trouble here. It's the first time we'll see them downed. We'll see if they have some help from Hangdog to be able to get across. Do they want to even challenge that here at this point? Or are they able to just pick themselves up? They are. So Dante right back onto his feet. That's that money that you've accumulated certainly coming in handy here as they're able to just self-revive and get right back into the zone here. But that kind of kills your streak to some degree. I know it's not a huge loss, but for Cryptic and Grass, you're looking for anything to make you at least a little bit hopeful. Looking towards that loadout drop as well, but I'm not sure that's going to be the case. So you're looking for some high ground too. Didn't hear any steps up top, so this should be safe to take. And already had Dante up there actually, but being challenged from this distance. They do have a couple of scopes. They will throw a grenade to try to just challenge them and maybe bounce them off, but they got to hold. They got a great power position here as long as they can land the shots and win that battle from across the way.
I mean, at the moment, Cryptic AYS on the other side is getting their picks just in. Good damage, though. Hangdog, I think, broke a plate there, but gets theirs broken instead. Remember, there is a gulag on both ends, so Hangdog and Dante can't afford to fall here, or at least take the chance to kind of take their own. Hangdog, once again, goes down immediately, which feels bad. This is constant lobbing of the nades right now. Good revive, nice slide, hiding inside of that smoke, very comfortable on that one, but Dante gets lit up. Dante, can you hold? No, you can't! And that is going to be Hangdog and Dante sent down for their second life chance.
That's the issue. If you hang around to a spot too long, you are going to eventually run into a team that's really hot or one of the best ones in the lobby. You want to drop hot because then you can challenge the stronger ends of the lobby typically, you know, just in numbers game-wise. You can do that in those hot spots, but whenever you let them kind of linger, you're going to get the best ones down the road, and that's what they're running into right now and why you saw Dante drop and Hangdog drop as well. So now is a prime opportunity as, you know, you have Dante hitting the gulag. Grass and Cryptic have an opportunity to try to gain a little bit of ground back, but there's only 50 in the lobby right now as it stands. We'll see if they have enough traction, enough bodies, really, to be able to put on the ground to get back into this one.
Gotta play the way that you need, but I love these adjustments so far. Gulag time number 2. So far, everyone has been up on that bank. And remember, every time you go down to the gulag, if you win, it's a free kill on your bucket. It's a freebie at the end of the day, so that's what you're hoping for. And there it is. It's a comfortable win. Well done. Pushing the rest of Zone Warriors into that double-digit kill threshold. They're going to be real happy about that one. Eyes out, though, as the zone is now pulling. I talked about this before, Bearlight. I'm so happy. We are seeing the end of this game, quite possibly, with both squads in, and they're going to the ports.
Here we go. Lots of open space to have to work around. Going to really test both of these squads. And really, they've been testing one another. It seems like whenever somebody gets an advantage on one side, has been immediately answered. It's like a challenge from both of these teams. The competitive nature is what DAFGL is all about, being able to bring together these Department of Defense, Air Force, Space Force alike to get together and find common ground through gaming. It's been fantastic to watch them throughout the course of this weekend, but will the weekend end now, or will there be one last clapback from oldest AFG duo, who's certainly taken that challenge for competition to heart, but can they have enough in the tank to be able to force a game number 5?
It's a push and a half. 46 left. Gas station being bypassed, of course, and go ahead and pretty okay with that one. Little loot, getting some bullets and getting some cash extra to play with. Everyone is decently kitted. At least on that end. Cryptic AYS sitting at 51. 73 in the bank right now for Grass, so they have a lot. But shots ringing out, forcing them back and to take a little bit of a detour. They don't want to be caught unawares in such open territory, so I like the conservative action that they're currently moving in as they enter into safety.
Yeah, a couple of taller buildings that you see from the outskirts of train stations, so they're certainly aware of where a couple more teams are. The good news is you know that there's a couple more bodies that you can put in the ground to kind of bring yourself a little bit closer, and that's what Grass is trying to battle with. But Dante has got the cargo truck. Thought for a second maybe you ran over somebody with it. But Cryptic, nice one, so hey, step in the right direction here.
Not just a step, but coverage as well, because you're going to get this extra one on the back end. Grass, though, holding it down. Very nice job. Helping out the teammate as well, as both of them are fairly tapped out. They're going to lose a couple plates here. I don't think either of them are really in a rough spot. Dante on the other side, though, doing the exact same. So things are getting very, very hectic here as Cryptic follows through with yet another. I am loving the fast action and the understanding that speed is the name of the game right now.
And they've got all levels of this building, a very common building to try to hold out of together. The twin buildings, if you will, just outside a train station where they remain and have had a little bit of success throughout. Why not go back to it? Find yourself in a comfortable spot too and some high ground to work with. But all the noise that they are hearing, it seems as if the ones that they did eliminate to put on their back was actually a team that got the better end of another fight, because it has been silent ever since. So it seems like they actually got the third-party kills other than anything else. So that means a little bit less kills than maybe they're anticipating in this area. But still, I mean, great spot. You're on the edge of the circle with 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. You're happy to just kind of camp right here and catch anybody who might be swinging in from the opposite side.
Catch all the strays, catch all the rats, and make sure they don't get a win, but you gotta always watch your back or your front side of the way. That hurts. Breaking 2 more plates is a problem. You need to hang on to 3. Grassl's getting shot from the other side. You recognize that they're actually getting pinched here. Oh, this is dangerous. Cryptic, AYS, and Grass need to get out of this ground floor, and they need to choose a spot. Cryptic actually gets pegged in the back of the head. Can't play it up here, though. If you play it up here, you lose out on a little extra. So you're gonna bunker down inside of the church. Still getting shot, though. Cryptic losing all of them and gets sniped out. Oh, Cryptic goes down one more time. Oh, Grass, you gotta pull out the hero play of a century right now.
You have a long way to go there, too. And not to mention they have eyes on it already to try to eliminate you out there. And now you're going to fall, too. That's it. They've dropped. They don't have anything else left. Don't believe they have the gulag either. And so that should wrap it up here. Gosh, they were in such a good spot until you mentioned Orwell. They were pinched at the end of the day, not able to get the job done. So guess what? It'll be Zone Warriors, your champions of the DAFGL Summer League 2025.
Very, very well done. Honestly, a little bit of a hiccup there in game number 3, and then the full-blown rush to victory at the end for the side of Zone Warriors. Very, very well done in their own. AFG, though, oldest AFG duo, they showed up. I give them a lot of credit. Game 3 was all theirs. The highest kill count that we've seen so far, 18 between the two of them. They had an amazing spark of a run, and even game 4 was very, very close. If we take a look at some of the replays, I mean, this shot here, number 1, to start things off, already showed how things were going to go.
Yeah, nobody was going to be complacent. Nobody was going to be shy. You can't be in a kill race. We understood that. And you were getting things going, try to get warm and get things going from a momentum standpoint. But really, in this case, when Dante came in, they were a difference maker from the get-go. Hangdog was great in support, no matter who his teammate was. So they really did work off each other extremely well. It didn't matter what the duo was. That's why this trio worked extremely well.
Very, very nicely done. And it's just like these pieces here, watching these 1v1s, the fact that we're not even talking about the gulag as like a chance, it's more like an inevitability, just shows the level of skill these players have. And then the speed here at the very end. Again, watching some of these players, I love this roll down, by the way. Some of these we didn't actually get to watch, but it's a clean work at the end of the day. Very, very well done. Very, very smart at the end of the day, and just proving that they're the best that can be here in the DAFGL.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'd love to kind of hear from the winner as well. So I'm wondering who we might be able to get in as well. But that's the way to end it for sure. Again, it's awesome to see these close matches play out. Number 1 versus number 2, we anticipated something close. And honestly, you know, the run towards the tail end that we were seeing could have favored oldest AFG, but they just weren't able to get it done. Almost forced him out of number 5, but it is about as close as it got, man.
Well, congratulations once again to the squad of Zone Warriors. Very, very well done with their victory. We will get a few words from them after this short break. So when we come back, we'll have a final interview with our final winners of this weekend. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. Congratulations once again to Warzone Warriors for their victory 3-1 on the day, and it was a thrilling one, to say the least. And because of that, we get an interview with the champions, or one of them, one of the three within the duo run. We got Hangdog joining us here on the desk, which is going to be a treat and a half. Hangdog, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on the victory. How are you feeling after taking the championship?
So it was a nice run. It feels pretty good to win the whole thing. So, I mean, there wasn't very much competition, I feel like. The other team did play well, though. They did take a map off of us, which is more than other teams have in the series.
No doubt. And Hangdog, it didn't matter who you played with. Obviously, you started off with Blur Antics there early. Dante subbed in too, so it didn't matter. You found success there too. And it's also cool that everybody got some play time there as well. Can you expand on what was going on with that switch up?
Yeah, so Blur was the original teammate that we had in, and he had a Fortnite match to go to, a 2v2 Fortnite match he has to go to. So we had to get our substitute Dante in, which they're both really good players, so I knew we were going to take it with either one of them.
Yeah, I mean, former pro in Fortnite, by the way, Blur Antics. I know you listed that there. So he's got to get his on that side of it too, I guess. But Dante came in, did an excellent job. But you did drop that one map, so you seem pretty confident regardless. Was there any tiny part of your brain, though, that was like, hey, maybe we're in trouble after that one drop of a map there?
Maybe during the match. During the match, they were starting to pull away a lot. We had to come up with a plan on the fly, and it didn't end up working out, but after that match, we knew we had it after getting all those free kills at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I mean, there was one in particular that made me kind of laugh and smile. Obviously, the fly-in single pistol kill. Was that more of a statement, or was that just like, hey, I might as well? There's nothing that's really going to stop me?
Yeah, it was more as a might as well. I didn't see very many people coming to Dam. I'm like, I mean, I can get a free one here, so I might just shoot him.
All right, listen, it's always a little bit risky and it's silly, but it's so much fun to watch. You played amazingly well, and you, Dante, and Blur Antics have all earned yourselves those gift cards. So my question to you, is there anyone that you'd like to give a final shout out, any thanks or anything of the sort while we have you on the desk?
Yeah, so my family's watching, so I'd like to shout them out. My mom, my sister, stepdad, and then I also have a friend up in Illinois. His name's Nick, but he goes by Ibra. He was in the Discord or the Twitch channel talking a little bit, but I'd like to shout them out. Thanks.
Hey, that's awesome. All the love and support in there, as you are a champion here. One of three here in the DAFGL Summer Playoffs. Congratulations on your victory here on the day. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
With that being said, we have now crowned all three of our champions across the entirety of this weekend. Day number one, the Marvel Rivals Jeff Only squad gave us a little taste of what for, but on today, we also saw Indy Bindi take it away on the SS6 side, and then here at the finale was an amazing CoD Warzone race, and it was fantastic to get a piece of.
You heard from the dog himself. Now you get to see some of the highlights and what made him so successful. As was the rest of his team. Sure, they were challenged. Gratz had some runs there too with the sniper, and it didn't matter who he was playing with. Hangdog had some help from Blur Antics, the former Fortnite pro who's getting his on both sides of the coin, but also just being able to challenge through. Although they dropped one map there, Gratz in the game looked very strong here, Orbital. The rest followed suit, and it was at the end of the day a strong performance when we talk about Warzone Warriors, your champions.
Beautiful job overall, and honestly, shout out to the USAA for sponsoring this amazing event, these grand finals, and I'm sure all the competitors enjoyed it as well. So we want to thank you all for joining us here on the day. Watch the rest of these highlights, enjoy the champions feed, and we'll see you next time for some more DAFGL action, maybe in the fall and maybe in the winter. Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Ordo. With me has been Bearlight, and we thank everyone on the production side, production staff as well. We'll see you all next time.
Bye-bye.
If you keep making that face, it's gonna stay like that.
Funny. I'm trying to get my own car insurance.
Well, that's easy. USAA.
I thought that was for the military.
And their families. Grandpa served and he joined USAA. He shared membership with your mom, so she'll give it to you.
Really?
And they'll take good care of you.
USAA. Members who switched saved an average of $725 annually on auto insurance.